And we in the Northeast here, we're getting a little reminder of Russia with all of the snow we've gotten today. I thought
you're delivering mail amongst it all. Are you delivering mail through hail nor sweet? How does that go?
Yeah, that's not really our motto.
Dark of night.
Architect just wrote that on a building.
From our appointed hours.
We did deliver. I did deliver, but now I'm back at the office, so I'll have to just be brief and sign off. But I just wanted to say thank you all. I think it's really great to get together, to come together and celebrate Chekhov. So that's with the Instant Shakespeare Company. We celebrate Shakespeare every year, but we've also been branching out and reminding people of other classics that are in the public domain, such as Anton Chekhov and many others, including tomorrow we're having a reading that David Cedar is playmastering of The Good-Natured Man by Oliver Goldsmith. And we have other things with the Shaw Project, but I think it's really great to celebrate Chekhov. And so this is the Instant Shakespeare Company. I'm Paul Sugarman, and I just want to encourage you. I think, let's see who is here. Marin, could you either make me co-host again because I lost connection, but promote Robert MacLachlan to panelist. So then, but anyways, you guys got the things with the running order, and hopefully I may be able to get done early and join you later. But I just want to ask you to just sort of follow that, and each of you sort of introduce your pieces. And so yeah, we've got the people here for the first few things, a little story, a story from Asher, and then a speech from Angus, and then the proposal, and you guys can just do that and celebrate Chekhov because he was a great writer. So thank you all.
And a great doctor too. Oh.
You're here. Paul, do you have any PDF of Thornton Wilder?
Oh wow!
Because I would like
to talk about that another time, Jackie. That's
yeah. I just asked him. Right.
So take it away, Asher. Right?
Okay.
But we need Michael Gardner. I guess he'll show up eventually. Okay.
Should I wait or should I start?
Yeah, start. Yeah.
Okay.
Lay it on us, baby.
Yeah, and just remind people when we're not in things, just to mute yourself and stop your video.
Okay.
And so, and have fun. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul. Okay.
A work of art by Anton Chekhov. Sasha Smirnov, the only son of his mother, holding under his arm something wrapped up in number 223 of the Financial News, assumed a sentimental expression and went into Dr. Koshelkov's consulting room. "Ah, dear lad," was how the doctor greeted him. "Well, how are we feeling? What good news have you for me?" Sasha blinked, laid his hand on his heart, and said in an agitated voice, "Mama sends her greetings to you, Ivan Nikolaevich, and told me to thank you. I am the only son of my mother, and you have saved my life. You have brought me through a dangerous illness, and we do not know how to thank you." "Nonsense, lad," said the doctor, highly delighted. "I only did what anyone else would have done in my place." "I am the only son of my mother. We are poor people and cannot, of course, repay you, and we are quite ashamed, doctor. However, Mama and I, the only son of my mother, earnestly beg you to accept in token of our gratitude this object, an object of great value, an antique bronze, a rare work of art." "You shouldn't," said the doctor, frowning. "What's this for?" "No, please, do not refuse," Sasha went on muttering as he unpacked the parcel. "You will wound Mama and me by refusing. It's a fine thing, an antique bronze. It was left us by my deceased father, and we have kept it as a precious souvenir. My father used to buy antique bronzes and sell them to connoisseurs. Mama and I keep on the business now." Sasha undid the object and put it solemnly on the table. It was a not very tall candelabra of old bronze and artistic workmanship. It consisted of a group. On the pedestal stood two female figures in the costume of Eve, and in attitudes for the description of which I have neither the courage nor the fitting temperament. The figures were smiling coquettishly, and altogether looked as though, had it not been for the necessity of supporting the candlestick, they would have skipped off the pedestal and have indulged in an orgy such as is improper for the reader even to imagine. Looking at the present, the doctor slowly scratched behind his ear, cleared his throat, and blew his nose irresolutely. "Yes, it certainly is a fine thing," he muttered. "But how shall I express it? It's not quite for family reading. It's not simply decollete, but beyond anything, dash it all." "How do you mean?" "The serpent tempter himself could not have invented anything worse. Why, to put such a phantasmagoria on the table would be defiling the whole flat." "What a strange way of looking at art, Doctor," said Sasha, offended. "Why, it is an artistic thing. Look at it. There is so much beauty and elegance that it fills one's soul with a feeling of reverence and brings a lump into one's throat. When one sees anything so beautiful, one forgets everything earthly. Only look how much movement, what an atmosphere, what expression." "I understand all that very well, my dear boy," the doctor interposed. "But you know I am a family man. My children run in here. Ladies come in." "Of course, if you look at it from the point of view of the crowd," said Sasha, "then this exquisitely artistic work may appear in a certain light. But, Doctor, rise superior to the crowd, especially as you will wound Mamma and me by refusing it. I am the only son of my mother. You have saved my life. We are giving you the thing most precious to us, and I only regret that I have not the pair to present to you." "Thank you, my dear fellow. I am very grateful. Give my respects to your mother, but really consider. My children run in here. Ladies come. However, let it remain. I see there's no arguing with you." "And there is nothing to argue about," said Sasha, relieved. "Put the candlestick here by this vase. What a pity we have not the pair to it. It is a pity. Well, goodbye, Doctor." After Sasha's departure, the doctor looked for a long time at the candelabra, scratched behind his ear, and meditated. "It's a superb thing, there's no denying it," he thought, "and it would be a pity to throw it away. But it's impossible for me to keep it. Here's a problem. To whom can I make a present of it, or to what charity can I give it?" After long meditation, he thought of his good friend, the lawyer Uhov, to whom he was indebted for the management of legal business. "Excellent," the doctor decided. "It would be awkward for him as a friend to take money from me, and it will be very suitable for me to present him with this. I will take him the devilish thing. Luckily, he is a bachelor and easygoing." Without further procrastination, the doctor put on his hat and coat, took the candelabra, and went off to Uhov's. "How are you, friend?" he said, finding the lawyer at home. "I've come to see you to thank you for your efforts. You won't take money, so you must at least accept this thing here. See, my dear fellow, the thing is magnificent." On seeing the bronze, the lawyer was moved to indescribable delight. "What a specimen!" he chuckled. Deuce take it to think of them imagining such a thing. The devils! Exquisite! Ravishing! Where did you get hold of such a delightful thing?" After pouring out his ecstasies, the lawyer looked timidly towards the door and said, "Only you must carry off your present, my boy. I can't take it." "Why?" cried the doctor, disconcerted. "Why? Because my mother is here at times, my clients. Besides, I should be ashamed for my servants to see it. Nonsense, nonsense. Don't you dare to refuse, said the doctor, gesticulating. It's piggish of you. It's a work of art. What movement, what expression. I won't even talk of it. You will offend me. If one could plaster it over or stick on fig leaves. But the doctor gesticulated more violently than before, and dashing out of the flat, went home, glad that he had succeeded in getting the present off his hands. When he had gone away, the lawyer examined the candelabra, fingered it all over, and then, like the doctor, racked his brains over the question what to do with the present. It's a fine thing, he mused, and it would be a pity to throw it away and improper to keep it. The very best thing would be to make a present of it to someone. I know what. I'll take it this evening to Shashkin, the comedian. The rascal is fond of such things, and by the way, it is his benefit tonight. No sooner said than done. In the evening, the candelabra, carefully wrapped up, was duly carried to Shashkin's. The whole evening, the comic actor's dressing room was besieged by men coming to admire the present. The dressing room was filled with the hum of enthusiasm and laughter, like the neighing of horses. If one of the actresses approached the door and asked, "May I come in?" the comedian's husky voice was heard at once, "No, no, my dear, I am not dressed." After the performance, the comedian shrugged his shoulders, flung up his hands, and said, "Well, what am I to do with the horrid thing? Why, I live in a private flat. Actresses come and see me. It's not a photograph that you could put in a drawer." "You had better sell it, sir," the hairdresser who was disrobing the actor advised him. "There's an old woman living about here who buys antique bronzes. Go and inquire for Madame Smirnov. Everyone knows her." The actor followed his advice. 2 days later, the doctor was sitting in his consulting room, and with his finger to his brow was meditating on the acids of the bile. All at once, the door opened, and Sasha Smirnov flew into the room. He was smiling, beaming, and his whole figure was radiant with happiness. In his hands, he held something wrapped up in newspaper. "Doctor," he began breathlessly, "imagine my delight. Happily for you, we have succeeded in picking up the pair to your candelabra. Mamma is so happy. I am the only son of my mother. You saved my life." And Sasha, all of a tremor with gratitude, set the candelabra before the doctor. The doctor opened his mouth, tried to say something, but said nothing. He could not speak. That's it.
And
That curtain.
thanks, Asher. The next piece, end of last year, towards the end of last year, we did a reading of a play called People at Dinner, written by Paul's dad, Robert Sugarman, in a later version of it. In one of the first versions of it, our famous playwright appears, and I was lucky enough to do a reading of an earlier version, and Paul is kind, and his dad had kindly let me do the speech taken from a collection of monologues taken from Robert Sugarman's plays. So this is from People at Dinner. "I cannot see those lights. Turn those damned lights off. Oh, this is a theater. I am in hell." Oh, you too. Are we in hell? Well, I never believed that, but where am I? Oh, yes, I was wondering about theater. I should not have asked, and now I am in one. Well, looks the same. I hoped they would have become freer, less oppositional. Stage here, audience there. I felt myself on the verge of that. They wouldn't let me try, wouldn't sacrifice their precious effects, their crickets and their furniture and their carpets. It was all so little. Well, the symbolists weren't, but who understood them? I wanted real people. Well, we all agreed on that, but I didn't want them locked in rooms. When I put them outside, wandering in space and time, they cut up my script and acted as if it were a room. The sound of a far-off bucket falling in a mine shaft. I insisted on that. They came up with a plucked cello string. I didn't have the strength to fight them. They thought I was odd, not a theatre professional. This theatre is not so different from the one I knew with that damn dead seagull on the curtain, on the programmes, on everything. I never liked that seagull. They made too much of it, made it an icon. Well, that's what happens in Russia, where they still have Matryoshka dolls, one inside the other. Now some of them depict Putin and Trump, one inside the other. These lights, they're different. Many colors in each. But that's just more detail, more crickets. What is wrong with daylight? By now there must be ways to simulate it. Fresh, clear. I wanted to know about theatre, and here we are. Oh, and once again, I am in the middle of the middle class. No matter what one says, I once did research in a colony of prisoners. It's always reassuring to return to the middle class. Middle class people are, in absolute terms, no better than the prisoners I studied or the peasants I treated. Oh, but their comforts are wonderful. Not that I was born to this, but this is the way to live. If only we could bring it to everyone. Perhaps you are more than middle class. I never saw any reason for that. Good evening. Is it evening? No matter. Even if I were in hell, I should not have shouted. I have always been intolerant of people who shout. For you, theatres are pleasant, yes. Here you can watch King Lear and Mrs. Malaprop and the people of Brighton Beach. I have not been totally out of touch. This is where you watch them live out the drama and comedy of their lives and hopefully enrich your own. I too have been entertained and enriched as I sat in audiences. Oh, I loved theatre from the time I was 10. A touring group performed on an improvised stage in the municipal building of my town. The town people were afraid of these strangers who appeared from nowhere, mountebanks. I was fascinated by their bravery as they faced down our suspicions with fake wigs and tawdry costumes to create something true in that drafty room. It was, or so it seemed. As an adult, when I worked with the mountebanks, I had trouble. Perhaps I came to it too late. Again, I apologize. The cough I cannot help. The shouting was unnecessary. Where is this theatre? I am speaking English. Is it in England? United States? Canada? I would ask, but you seem surprised at all this and would be uncomfortable answering. That is not why you came here. Well, here I am. No, I was never a performer, but on occasion I found myself on stage. The last time I was being honoured at great length. I was not well and had to stand during interminable speeches, and worse, through it all, I had to smile. Well, I am sure you expect more than shouting and coughing. Huh? In music hall by now, an acrobat would have done at least 3 tricks. Clever animals. More. You would have applauded. You would be engaged. Well, I shall try. No tricks, but I shall. Good evening. I am Anton Pavlovich Chekhov, a doctor, story writer, sometimes a playwright. Ah, yes, that one. You're surprised. Well, no more than I am to be here. And now, what? I always said the cough was not serious, so people would not fuss, don't you? Don't you? Of course, it was. The end. And moving right along, the next item on the agenda is going to be the proposal. With Robert MacLachlan, Trudi Bird, and once again, me. You can't get rid of me.
I'm here, but I'm going away because I'm not in the first part. Bye.
First of all, I have to get the script up, the proposal.
Yeah.
No, it's not that one. Damn.
Page 15 of the
Yeah,
PDF.
I've got them on different places. Page 15. On the Puck Press collection of Chekhov's plays. That's the same.
Who is the translator on this, by the way?
I don't know. These are all, they're all old, so they're out of copyright.
I think it's listed somewhere, Robert.
That's
Okay.
cool. You know, Constance Towers, if memory serves, used to do all the translations for decades and decades. Yeah.
Yeah.
Constance somebody.
Constance Garrett.
Constance Garnett.
Okay, yeah, Constance Towers was an actress, right?
Yeah.
Who isn't an actress in this life?
Who's named Constance anymore?
Yeah, right. Nobody's constant. They're all unstable.
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting out. Sorry, everybody.
Her Constance's translations are still some of the best. A lot better than some of the recent ones that have come up.
You bet. It's not facile and facetious. Ugh.
I've read so many of her translations of Tolstoy and Dostoevsky.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she was busy translating Russian stuff all over the place.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, I am set. I have found a script.
I'm out of here.
Right. Scene is set in Chubukov's country house in the drawing room. Lomov enters wearing a dress jacket and white gloves. Chubukov rises to meet him. My dear fellow, whom do I see? Ivan Vassilievich, I am extremely glad. Now, this is a surprise, my darling. How are you?
Thank you. And how may you be getting on?
Oh, we just get along somehow, my angel, to your prayers and so on. And now sit down, please do. Now, you know, you shouldn't forget about your neighbors, my darling. My dear fellow, why are you so formal in your get-up? Evening dress, gloves, and so on. Can you be going anywhere, my treasure?
No, I've come only to see you, honored Stepan Stepanovich.
Then why are you in evening dress, my precious? As if you're paying a New Year's Eve visit.
Well, you see, it's like this. I've come to see you, honored Stepan Stepanovich, to trouble you with a request. Not once or twice have I already had the privilege of applying to you for help, and you have always, so to speak, I must ask your pardon. I'm getting excited. I shall drink some water.
He's got to borrow money. Can't give him any. What is it, my beauty?
You see, honored Stepan Stepanovich, I beg pardon, Stepan Honorovich. I mean, I'm awfully excited, as you will please notice. In short, you alone can help me, though I don't deserve it, of course. And haven't any right to count on your assistance.
Oh, no, don't go round and round it, darling. Spit it out. Well,
One moment, this very minute. The fact is, I've come to ask the hand of your daughter, NATALYA STEPANOVNA, in marriage.
by Jove, Ivan Vassilievich. Say again, I didn't hear it all.
I have the honor to ask.
Oh, my dear fellow, oh, I'm so glad. Yes, indeed, and all that sort of thing. Oh, I've been hoping for it for a long time. It's been my continual desire. Oh, and I've always loved you, my angel, as if you were my own son. May God give you both his help and his love, and so on. I did so much hope. Oh, what am I behaving in this idiotic way for? I'm out of balance with joy, absolutely off balance. Oh, with all my soul. I'll go and call Natasha and all that.
Honored Stepan Stepanovich, I think I may count on her consent?
Well, of course, my darling. And well, as if she wouldn't consent. She's in love, a cat. She's like a lovesick cat, and so on. I shan't belong.
It's cold. I'm trembling all over, just as if I'd got an examination before me. Oh, the great thing is, I must have my mind made up. If I give myself time to think, to hesitate, to talk a lot, to look for an ideal or for real love, then I'll never get married. It's cold. NATALYA Stepanovna is an excellent housekeeper, not bad looking, well educated. Well, what more do I want? But I'm getting a noise in my ears from excitement. And it's impossible for me not to marry in the first place. I'm already 35, a critical age, so to speak. In the second place, I ought to lead a quiet and regular life. I suffer from palpitations, I'm excitable, and always getting awfully upset. At this very moment, my lips are trembling, and there's a twitch in my right eyebrow. And the very worst way of all is the way I sleep. I no sooner get in bed and begin to go off when suddenly I have something in my left side gives a pull, and I can feel my shoulder and head. Oh, I jump like a lunatic, walk about a bit, and lie down again. But as soon as I begin to get off to sleep, there's another pull, and this may happen 20 times. Oh,
Well, there, it's you. And Papa said, go, there's a merchant come for his goods. How do you do, Ivan Vassilievich?
How do you do, honored NATALYA Stepanovna?
Oh, you must excuse my apron and negligee. We're shelling peas for drying. Why haven't you been here for such a long time? Oh, sit down. Won't you have some lunch?
No, thank you. I've had some already.
Oh, then smoke. Here are matches. The weather is splendid now, but yesterday it was so wet. The workmen didn't do anything all day. How much hay have you stacked? Just think, I felt greedy and had a whole field cut, and now I'm not at all pleased about it because I'm afraid my hay may rot. I ought to have waited a bit. But what's this? You're in evening dress. Well, I never. Are you going to a ball or what? Though I must say you look better. Tell me, why are you got up like that?
You see, honored NATALYA Stepanovna, the fact is, I've made up my mind to ask you to hear me out. Of course, you'll be surprised and perhaps even angry, but oh, it's awfully cold.
What's the matter?
I shall try to be brief. You must know, honored NATALYA Stepanovna, that I have long, since my childhood, in fact, had the privilege of knowing your family. My late aunt and her husband, from whom, as you know, I inherited my land, always had the greatest respect for your father and your late mother. The Lomovs and the Chubukovs have always had the most friendly, and I might almost say the most affectionate regard for each other. And as you know, my land is a near neighbor of yours. You will remember that my oxen meadows touch your birch woods.
Excuse my interrupting you. You say my oxen meadows, but are they yours?
Yes, mine.
What are you talking about? The oxen meadows are ours, not yours.
No, mine, honored Natalia Stepanovna.
No, well, I never knew that before. How do you make that out?
How? I'm speaking of those oxen meadows which are wedged in between your birch woods and the burnt marsh.
Yes, they're ours.
No, you're mistaken, honored Natalia Stepanovna. They are mine.
Oh, just think, Ivan Vassilievich. How long have they been yours?
How long? As long as I can remember.
Really? You won't get me to believe that.
Oh, but you can see from the documents, honored Natalia Stepanovna. Oxen meadows, it's true, were once the subject of dispute, but now everybody knows that they are mine. There's nothing to argue about. You see, my aunt's grandmother gave the free use of these meadows in perpetuity to the peasants of your father's grandfather, in return for which they were to make bricks for her. The peasants belonging to your father's grandfather had the free use of the meadows for 40 years and had gotten into the habit of regarding it as their own. When it happened that the Tsar No, it isn't at all like that. Both my grandfather and great-grandfather reckoned that their land extended to burnt marsh, which means that oxen meadows were ours. I don't see what there is to argue about. It's simply silly. I'll show you the documents, Natalia Stepanovna.
No, you're simply joking or making fun of me? What a surprise. We've had the land for nearly 300 years, and then we're suddenly told that it isn't ours. Ivan Vassilievich, I can hardly believe my own ears. These meadows aren't worth much to me. They're only worth perhaps 300 rubles, but I can't stand unfairness. Say what you will, I can't stand unfairness.
Hear me out. I implore you. The peasants of your father's grandfather, as I've already had the honor of explaining to you, used to bake bricks for my aunt's grandmother. Now, my aunt's grandmother, wishing to make them
I can't make head or tail of all this about aunts and grandfathers and grandmothers. The meadows are ours, and that's all.
Mine.
Ours. You can go on proving it for 2 days on end, and you can go and put on 15 dress jackets, but I tell you, they're ours, ours, ours. I don't want anything of yours, and I don't want to give up anything of mine. So there.
Natalia Ivanovna, I don't want the meadows, but I am acting on principle. If you like, I'll make you a present of them.
I can make a present of them myself because they're mine. Your behavior, Ivan Vassilievich, is strange, to say the least. Up to this, we have always thought of you as a good neighbor, a friend. Last year, we lent you our threshing machine, although on that account, we had to put off our own threshing till November. But you behaved to us as if we were gypsies. Giving me my own land, indeed. No, that's not at all neighborly. In my opinion, it's even impudent, if you want to know.
And you make out that I'm a land grabber? Madam, never in my life have I grabbed anybody else's land, and I shan't allow anybody to accuse me of having done so. Oxen meadows are mine.
It's not true. They're ours.
Mine.
Mine. Oh, it's not true. I'll prove it. I'll send my mowers out to the meadows this very day.
What?
My mowers will be there this very day.
I'll give it to them in a neck.
Oh, you dare.
Oxen meadows are mine. You understand? Mine.
Please don't shout.
Oh, I was giving her a popsicle. It might be that thing that happens a little bit. Let's just keep an eye on it.
You can
It
shout
does feel a little
yourself
rough, though.
hoarse.
Just one second, just one
Yeah, look at
second. Rachel, can you please kill your microphone? There's something breaking through. Rachel, kill your mic. Thank you.
Please don't shout. You can shout yourself hoarse in your own house, but here I must ask you to restrain yourself.
If it wasn't, madam, for this awful, excruciating palpitation, if my whole inside wasn't upset, I'd talk to you in a different way. Oxen meadows are mine!
Ours!
Mine!
Ours!
Mine!
Papa, we need you.
Oh, what's the matter? What are you shouting at?
Papa, please tell to this gentleman who owns Oxen Meadows, we or he.
Oh, darling, the meadows are ours.
But please, Stepan Stepanovich, how can they be yours? You be a reasonable man. But my aunt's grandmother gave the meadows for the temporary and free use of your grandfather's peasants. The peasants used the land for 40 years and got accustomed to it as if it was their own. When it happened,
Excuse me, my precious. You forget just this, that the peasants didn't pay your grandmother and all that, because the meadows were in dispute and so on. But now everybody knows that they're ours. I mean, it means you haven't seen the plan.
I'll prove to you that they're mine.
Oh, you won't prove it, my
Oh,
darling.
I shall.
Oh, dear one, why yell like that? You won't prove anything just by yelling. I don't want anything of yours, and I don't intend to give up what I have. I mean, why should I? And you know, my beloved, that if you propose to go on arguing about it, I'd much sooner give up the meadows to the peasants than you. There.
I don't understand. How have you the right to give away somebody else's property?
You may take it that I know whether I have the right or not, because, young man, I am not used to being spoken to in that tone of voice, and so on. I, young man, am twice your age, and ask you to speak to me without agitating yourself and all that.
You just think that I am a fool and want to have me on. You call my land yours, and then you want me to talk to you calmly and politely. Good neighbors don't behave like that, Stepan Stepanovich. You're not a good neighbor. You're a grabber.
Just one second. Jackie, please kill your microphone. You're coming over.
Oh my God.
Now, what's that? What did you say?
Papa, send the mowers out to the meadows at once.
What did you say, sir?
Oxen Meadows are ours, and I shan't give them up, shan't give them up, shan't give them up.
Yeah, we will see. I'll have the matter taken to court, and then I'll show you.
To court? Oh, you can take it to court and all that. You can. I know you're just on the lookout for a chance to go to court and all that, you pettifogger. All your people were like that, all of them.
Never mind about my people. The Lomovs have all been an honorable people, and not one has ever been tried for embezzlement. like your grandfather.
Oh, God, you Lomovs have had lunacy in your family, all of you.
All.
Your grandfather was a drunkard, and your younger aunt, Nastasya Mikhailovna, ran away with an architect, and so on.
Your mother was humpbacked.
Oh,
There's something pulling my side. Head. Water.
your father was a guzzling gambler.
And there haven't been many backbiters equal to your aunt.
My left foot has gone to sleep. And you're an intriguer. Oh, my heart. And it's an open secret that before the last elections you bribed. I can see stars. Where's my hat?
It's low, it's dishonest, it's mean.
And you are just a malicious, double-faced intriguer. Yes.
Here's my hat. Oh, my heart. Which way to the door? I think I'm dying. My foot's quite numb.
And don't you set foot in my house again.
Yeah, take it to court. We'll see.
Devil take him.
What a rascal. What trust can one have in one's neighbors after that?
The villain, the scarecrow.
The monster. First, he takes our land, and then he has the impudence to abuse us.
Yeah, and that blind hen, yes, that turnip ghost has the confounded cheek to make a proposal and so on. What? Oh, a proposal?
What proposal?
Oh, I came here so as to propose to you.
To propose? To me? Why didn't you tell me so before?
Oh, so he dresses up in evening clothes, the stuffed sausage, the wizen-faced frump.
To propose to me? Bring him back. Bring him back. Bring him here.
Bring whom here?
Quick. I'm ill. Fetch him.
Oh, but Shakespeare, what's the matter with you? Oh, unhappy man that I am. I'll shoot myself. I'll hang myself. Oh, we've done for her.
Oh, I'm dying. Fetch him.
Oh, sure. You heard it once. No, don't yell.
What have they done to me? Fetch him back. Fetch him.
He's coming, and so on. Oh, devil take him. Oh, talk to him yourself. I don't want to.
Oh, fetch him.
He's coming, I tell you. Oh, what a burden, Lord, to be the father of a grown-up daughter. I'll cut my throat. I will indeed. We cursed him, abused him, drove him out, and it's all you.
No, it was you.
I tell you, it's not my fault. No, you talk to him yourself.
My heart's palpitating awfully. My foot's gone to sleep. Something keeps pulling at my side.
Forgive us, Ivan Vassilievich. We were all a little heated. I remember now. Oxen Meadows really are yours.
Heart's beating awfully. My meadows, my eyebrows are both twitching.
The meadows are yours, yes, yours. Oh, do sit down. Do sit down. We were wrong.
I did it on principle. My land is worth little to me, but the principle.
Yes, the principle. Just so. Now, let's talk of something else.
The more so as I have evidence. My aunt's grandmother gave the land to your father's grandfather's peasants.
Yes. Let that pass. Just, I wish I knew how to get him started. Are you going to start shooting soon?
I'm thinking of having a go at the Blackcock, honored NATALYA STEPANOVNA, after the harvest. Have you heard? Just think what a misfortune I've had. My dog Guess, who you know, has gone lame.
Oh, what a pity. Why?
I don't know. Must have got twisted or bitten by some other dog. My very best dog. to say nothing of the expense. I gave Mironov 125 rubles for it.
It was too much, Ivan Vassilievich.
Well, I think it was very cheap. He's a first-rate dog.
Well, Papa gave 85 rubles for his squeezer, and squeezer is heaps better than Guess.
Squeezer better than Guess? No, what an idea. Squeezer better than Guess.
Well, of course he's better. Of course, Squeezer is young. He may develop a bit, but on points and pedigree, he's better than something that even Vohanetsky has got.
Excuse me, Natalia Stepanovna, but you forget that he's overshot, and an overshot always means the dog is a bad hunter.
Overshot. Let's see. The first time I hear it.
Oh, I assure you, his lower jaw is shorter than the upper.
Have you measured?
Yes, he's all right at following, of course, but if you want him to get hold of anything.
In the first place, our squeezer is a thoroughbred animal, the son of harness and chisels, while there's no getting at the pedigree of your dog at all. He's old and as ugly as a worn out cab horse.
He is old, but I wouldn't take 5 squeezers for him. Why, how can you? Guess it's a dog. As for Squeezer, well, it's too funny to argue. Anybody you like has as good a dog as Squeezer. You may find them under almost every bush. 25 rubles would be a handsome price to pay for it.
There is some demon of contradiction in you today, Ivan Vassilievich. First, you pretend that the meadows are yours, now that Guess is better than Squeezer. I don't like people who don't say what they mean, because you know perfectly well that Squeezer is 100 times better than your silly Guess. Why do you want to say it isn't?
I see, Natalia Stepanovna, that you consider me either blind or a fool. You must realize that Squeezer is overshot.
It is not true.
He is.
It's not true.
Why shout, madam?
Why talk rot? It's awful. It's time your Guess was shot. And you compare him with Squeezer?
Excuse me. I cannot continue this discussion. My heart is palpitating.
I've noticed that those hunters argue most who know the least.
Madam, please be silent. My heart is going to pieces. Shut up!
I shan't shut up until you acknowledge that Squeezer is 100 times better than your
100 times worse!
Oh,
The head to your Squeezer! His head, eyes, shoulders!
there's no need to hang your silly Guess. He's half dead already.
Shut up! My heart's bursting!
Well, I shan't shut up.
But what's the matter now?
Papa, tell us truly, which is the better dog, our Squeezer or his Guess?
Stepan Stepanovich, I implore you to tell me just one thing. Is your Squeezer overshot or not? Yes or no?
Well, suppose he is. What does it matter? He's the best dog in the district for all that and so on.
But isn't my Guess better? Really now?
Oh, don't excite yourself, my precious one. Allow me. Your Guess certainly has his good points. He's purebred, firm on his feet, has well-sprung ribs and all that. But my dear man, if you want to know the truth, that dog has 2 defects. He's old and he's short in the muzzle.
Excuse me. My heart. Let's take the facts. you will remember that on the Marinsky hunt, my guess ran neck and neck with the Count's dog, while your squeezer was left a whole verst behind.
And with good reason. He got left behind because the Count's whipperin hit him with his whip.
And with good reason. The dogs are running after a fox when Squeezer goes and starts worrying a sheep.
Oh, it's not true. My dear fellow, I'm very liable to lose my temper, and so just because of that, let's stop arguing. You started because everybody is always jealous of everybody else's dogs. Oh, yes, we're all like that. You too, sir, aren't blameless. You no sooner notice that some dog is better than your guest than you begin with this, that, and the other, and all that. I remember everything.
I remember too.
Oh, I remember too. What do you remember?
My heart. Oh, I'm such going to sleep. I can't.
My heart, my heart. What sort of a hunter are you? You ought to go and lie on the kitchen oven and catch black beetles, not go after foxes. My heart.
Oh, yes. Really, what sort of a hunter are you anyway? You ought to sit at home with your palpitations and not go tracking animals. Or you could go hunting, but you only go to argue with people and interfere with their dogs and so on. Well, let's change the subject in case I lose my temper. You're not a hunter at all anyway.
You're a hunter. You only go hunting to get in with the Count and to intrigue. My heart. You're an intriguer.
What? I an intriguer? Oh, shut up!
Old rat! Jesuit!
Shut up or I'll shoot you like a partridge, you fool.
Everybody knows that your late wife used to beat you. Beat my temples, sparks. Oh, I fall.
And you are under the heel of the slipper of your housekeeper.
There. Oh, my heart burst. Shoulders come up. Where's my shoulder? I die. Doctor.
Oh, boy! Milksop! Fool! Oh, I'm sick.
Well, what sort of a hunter are you? You can't even sit on a horse.
Oh.
Papa, what's the matter with him? Ivan Vassilievich, he's dead.
Oh, I'm sick. Oh, I can't breathe. Air.
He's dead. Ivan Vassilievich, what have you done to me, Papa? He's dead. A doctor.
Oh, what is it? What's the matter?
Dead, he's dead.
Who's dead? Oh, so he is. Oh, my word. Oh, water. A doctor. Now drink this. Oh, no, he doesn't drink. That means he's dead and all that. Oh, I'm the most unhappy of men. Why don't I put a bullet into my brain? Why haven't I cut my throat yet? What am I waiting for? No, give me a knife. Give me a pistol. Oh, he seems to be coming around. And now drink some water. Oh, that's right.
Oh, I see stars. Mist. Where am I?
Oh, hurry up and get married and well, to the devil with you. She's willing and all that. I give you my blessing and so on. And leave me in peace.
What? To whom?
But she's willing. Well, kiss and be damned to you.
He's alive. Yes, I am willing.
Well, now, come on, kiss each other.
Kiss whom? Very nice, too. Excuse me. Well, what's it all about? Oh, now I understand. My heart. Stars. I'm happy. Natalia Stepanovna. Oh, my foot's going.
I'm happy too.
Oh, what a weight off my shoulders. Whew.
But still, you will admit now that Guess is worse than Squeezer?
Better.
Worse.
Oh, well, that's a way to start your family bliss. Now, have some champagne.
He's better.
Worse, worse, worse.
Champagne! Champagne! And curtain. The end of the proposal. Somebody was asking.
You people are too, I'm dying laughing here. Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Somebody was
Great
asking
work.
who translated these.
Oh.
The man is Horace Samuel, who translated
Samuel.
Stendhal and Nietzsche and
Oh,
all sorts
wow.
of other German stuff.
Whoa, that's-
Born in about
that's not messing
1880.
around. Oh,
Yep.
man. I
Marin,
saw
if Marin, are you still here?
Yes, it's definitely public domain.
Yeah.
I saw this with Rowan Atkinson
Oh,
and
boy.
Cheryl Campbell, you know, who played the Scottish sister in Chariots of Fire. I saw them in the West End. I was just out of drama school. It was like 1988 in London. My mom came over. We went, my best friend Erica. I fell in the aisle. I was laughing so much. Oh God, I've never laughed so much in the theater except with the Book of Mormon. Oh my God. but you guys were so freaking funny. Oh my God.
I played the same character
Yes,
back in the 1980s.
really?
And we won the Performing Arts Norwich Festival
We
with it.
did? Oh,
Oh,
hilarious.
Pissed everybody off because it was supposed to be a festival for new writing, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
and the adjudicator said, "Well, it just goes to show you that the old classics can beat the new writers hands down any time." So they changed the rules next year. So anybody who
okay.
did a non-new play was in a separate
They
category.
did new plays and revivals because
Yeah,
you can't
yeah.
get funnier than this. You just can't.
Oh, I know.
Rowan Atkinson had this hairstyle. He had wings of hair sticking out on either side,
Yeah.
you know? And at one point, she was beating him up. I mean, they were going ballistic at each other. And I don't know how he did this. I swear to gosh. He had one leg. You know how you have your leg bent like this, right? Your knee is like this, right? He had his leg bent like concave. And he's hobbling around the stage because she's beating him up. Oh my gosh.
Okay, everybody. time
Bravo,
to move
bravo,
on to the
bravo. I
time
just
to
like
move
to
on
say
the next
bravo.
one. Oh, thank you. Can I just remind people that if you're not involved in a scene or if you're not speaking, to please turn your microphone off because back conversation does tend to crash in and screw everybody up and get us all worried about, who's trying to break the door down.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next piece is a slightly longer one, but also.
And then we have intermission right after that.
I don't think we're doing intermission. It's not very long.
Whatever.
We've only been going,
Okay.
We started at 6. We're not even at 7 o'clock yet.
Is Jackie here?
London time.
Yeah.
Jackie is here, yes.
Jackie, are you here?
She's certainly listed, Michael.
I know.
Hi, Michael. Yay.
Hi, I'm nervous about Jackie because I got an email saying she was nervous. Also, a woman named Rachel said she was having trouble getting in.
Well,
Is
they were.
Rachel-
I got back.
Yes,
I got back
Jackie.
in. I just had some problems.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And Rachel, you got
Everybody's
back
in.
in. Okay,
Jackie
great.
was here before.
Okay,
she's,
right.
I see her. She's there.
Okay.
So, ladies and
Yes,
gentlemen,
yes.
by Anton Chekhov, translated by Horace Samuel, The Wedding.
No, no, no.
Oh, have pity on us. Have pity.
No, no, no.
You can't go on like this. Where are you off to? What about the Grand Ronde? Grand Ronde, s'il vous plaît.
You had much better be dancing than upsetting me with your speeches.
I'm not a Spinoza or anybody of that sort to go making figures of 8 with my legs. I am a serious man and I have a character, and I see no amusement in empty pleasures. But it isn't just a matter of dances. You must excuse me, Maman, but there is a good deal in your behavior which I am unable to understand. For instance, in addition to objects of domestic importance, you promised also to give me, with your daughter, 2 lottery tickets. Where are they?
Oh, my head's aching a little. I expect it's on account of the weather. Oh, if only it thawed.
You won't get out of it like that. I only found out today that those tickets are in pawn. You must excuse me, Maman, but it's only swindlers who behave like that. I'm not doing this out of egotism. I don't want your tickets, but on principle, and I don't allow myself to be done by anybody. I have made your daughter happy, and if you don't give me the tickets today, I'll make a short work of her. I'm an honorable man.
Oh, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The cook asks if you want like the ices served with rum, Madeira, or by themselves.
With rum, and tell the manager that there's not enough wine. Tell him to prepare some more haute sauterne. You also promised and agreed that a general was to be here to supper, and where is he?
That isn't my fault, my dear.
Whose fault, then?
It's Andrey Andreyevich's fault. Yesterday he came to see us and promised to bring a perfectly real general. I suppose he couldn't find one anywhere or he'd have brought him. You think we don't mind? We begrudge our child nothing. A general, of course.
But there's more. Everybody, including yourself, Maman, is aware of the fact that Yats, that telegraphist, was after Dashenka before I proposed to her. Why did you invite him? Surely you knew it would be unpleasant for me.
Oh, how can you? EPAMINOND Maximovich was married himself only the other day, and you've already tired me and Dashenka out with your talk. What will you be like in a year's time? You are horrid, really horrid.
And you don't like to hear the truth. Oh, then behave honorably. I only want you to do one thing. Be honorable.
Promenade, messieurs, promenade.
Oh, have pity, adorable Anna Martinovna.
Oh, what man? I've already told you I've no voice today.
I implore you to sing. Just one note. Have pity, just one note. Oh, no, you're simply heartless. To be so cruel, if I may express myself, and to have such a beautiful voice. With such a voice, if you will forgive my using the word, you shouldn't be a midwife, but sing at concerts, public gatherings. For example, how divinely you do that, Fiorita, that I loved you. Love was in vain then. How exquisite.
I love you and will love again.
That's it. Beautiful, beautiful.
I've no voice today. There, wave this fan for me. It's hot. Oh, Epaminond Maximovitch, why are you so melancholy? A bridegroom shouldn't be. Aren't you ashamed of yourself, you wretch? Well, what are you so thoughtful about?
Marriage is a serious step. Everything must be considered from all sides, thoroughly.
What beastly skeptics you all are. I feel quite suffocated with all you around. Give me atmosphere, do you hear? Give me atmosphere. Oh,
beautiful, beautiful.
Fan me. I fear I shall have a heart attack any minute. Tell me, please, why do I feel so suffocated?
It's because you're suffocating, you're sweating.
How vulgar you are. Don't dare use such words.
Oh, beg pardon.
Beg pardon, of course, you're used, if I may say so, to aristocratic society, and I...
Leave me alone. Give me poetry delight. Fan me, fan me.
ZHIGALOV, where are you?
Yes, I'm finding it.
ZHIGALOV.
Ah. Okay. I'm sorry, which page?
Top of 52.
The top.
Top
That's
of
fine.
52.
We got plenty of good booze here. Don't worry.
Let's have another, what? One can always drink. So long only Halampi Spiridonovich, as one doesn't forget one's business, drink and be merry. And if you can drink at somebody else's expense, then why not drink? You can drink your health. And do you have tigers in Greece?
Yes.
And lions?
And lions too. In Russia, there's nothing. And in Greece, there's everything. Oh, my father and uncle and brothers. And here, there's nothing. Oh.
And are there whales in Greece?
Yes, everything. Yeah.
What are they all eating and drinking like that for? It's time for everybody to sit down to supper. Don't keep on shoving your fork into the lobsters. They're for the general. He may come yet.
And are there lobsters in Greece?
Yes, there was everything.
And civil servants?
I can imagine what the atmosphere is like in Greece.
There must be a lot of swindling. The Greeks are just like the Armenians or gypsies. They sell you a sponge or a goldfish, and all the time they are looking out for a chance of getting something extra out of you. Let's have another, what?
What do you want to go on having another for? It's time everybody sat down to supper. It's past 11.
If it's time, then it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, please, supper, young people.
Dear visitors, please be seated.
Give me poetry. And he, the rebel, seeks the storm, as if the storm can give him peace. Give me the storm.
Oh.
Wonderful woman. I'm in love up to my ears.
You're muted, Muscovy. It's entered Dashenka, Muscovy, groomsmen, various ladies and gentlemen. They all noisily seat themselves at a table. There's a minute's pause while the band plays a march.
Ladies and gentlemen, I must tell you this. We are going to have a great many toasts and speeches. Don't let's wait, but begin at once. Ladies and gentlemen, the newly married.
The band plays a flourish. Cheers, glasses are touched. APLOMBOV and Dashenka kiss each other.
Ah, beautiful, beautiful. I must say, ladies and gentlemen, giving honor where it is due, that this room and the accommodations generally are splendid. Excellent, wonderful. Oh, only you know, there's one thing we haven't got: electric light. If I may say so, into every country, electric light has already been introduced. Only Russia lags behind.
Electricity. In my opinion, electric lighting is just a swindle. They put a live coal in and think you don't see them. No, if you want a light, then you don't take a coal, but something real, something special that you can get hold of. You must have a fire, you understand, which is natural, not just an invention.
If you've ever seen an electric battery and how it's made up, you'd think differently.
Don't want to see one. It's a swindle. a fraud on the public. They want to squeeze our last breath out of us. We know then these, and young man, instead of defending a swindle, you would be much better occupied if you had another yourself and poured out some for other people. Yes.
Well, I entirely agree with you, Papa. Why start a learned discussion? I myself have no objection to talking about every possible scientific discovery, but this isn't the time for all that. What do you think, ma chère?
They want to show how educated they are, and so they always talk about things we can't understand.
Thank God we've lived our time without being educated. And here we are marrying off our third daughter to an honest man. And if you think we're uneducated, then what do you want to come here for? Go to your educated friends.
Natasha Timoveyevna, have always held your family in respect. And if I did start talking about electric lighting, it doesn't mean that I'm proud. I'll drink to show you. I have always sincerely wished Daria Evdokimovna a good husband. In these days, Natasha Timoveyevna, it is difficult to find a good husband. Nowadays, everybody is on the lookout for a marriage where there is profit, money.
That's a hint.
Oh, no, I wasn't hinting at anything. Present company is always accepted. I was only in general. Please, everybody knows that you're marrying for love. The dowry is quite trifling.
No, it isn't trifling. You be careful what you say. Besides 1,000 rubles of good money, we're giving 3 dresses, the bed, and all the furniture. You won't find another dowry like that in a hurry.
I didn't mean, the furniture's splendid, of course, and the dresses, but I never hinted at what they are getting offended at.
Don't you go making hints. We respect you on account of your parents, and we've invited you to the wedding, and here you go talking. If you knew that EPAMINOND MAXIMOVITCH was marrying for profit, why didn't you say so before? Oh, I brought her up, I fed her. I nursed her, I cared for her more than if she was an emerald jewel, my little girl.
And you go and believe him? Thank you so much. I am very grateful to you. And as for you, Mr. Yates, although you are acquainted with me, I shan't allow you to behave like this in another's house. Please get out of this.
What do you mean?
I want you to be as straightforward as I am. In short, please get out.
Leave him alone. Sit down. Is it worth it? Let him be. Stop it now.
I don't understand. Please, I'll go. Only you first give me the 5 rubles, which you borrowed from me last year on the strength of a piqué waistcoat, if I may say so. Then I'll just have another drink and go. Only give me the money first.
Sit down. That's enough. Is it worth it just for such trifles? The health of a bride's parents, EVDOKIM, ZAHAROVITCH and NASTASYA TIMOFEYEVNA.
I thank you, dear guests. I'm very grateful to you for not having forgotten and for having conferred this honor upon us without being standoffish. And you must not think that I'm a rascal or that I'm trying to swindle anybody. I'm speaking from my heart, from the purity of my soul. I wouldn't deny anything to good people. We thank you very humbly. Mwah, mwah.
Mama, why are you crying? I'm so happy.
Mama is disturbed at your coming separation, but I should advise her rather to remember the last talk we had.
Don't cry, Natasha Timoveyevna. Just think, what are human tears anyway? Just petty psychiatry and nothing more.
And are there any red-haired men in Greece?
Yes, we've got them and everything.
But you don't have our kinds of mushroom.
No. What? Oh, yeah. Yes, we've got them and everything.
Miss Feodorovich, it's your turn to speak. Ladies and gentlemen, a speech.
A speech.
Speech. Speech.
Your turn.
Ah, why? I don't understand. What is it?
No, you can't refuse. It's your turn. Get up.
Oh. Okay. I can't say what. There's Russia and there's Greece. There's people in Russia and there's people in Greece. And there's people swimming the sea in caraffes, which means ships. And the people on the land in railway trains. I understand. We are Greeks, you are Russians, and I want nothing. We got cheesecake, baklava. We do you a deal, discount just for you. We are Greeks. You want nothing? I can tell you. There's Russia and there's Greece. Uso.
You're muted.
Where's Nunin?
Wait, ladies and gentlemen. Don't eat now. Wait. Just 1 minute, Natasha. Timofeyevna. Just come here if you don't mind. Listen, the general's coming. I found one at last. I'm simply worn out. A real general, a solid one, old, you know, aged, perhaps 80 or even 90.
When is he coming?
This minute. You'll be grateful to me all your life.
You're not deceiving me, Andrei, darling.
Well, now, am I a swindler? You needn't worry.
One doesn't like to spend money for nothing, Andrei, darling.
Don't you worry. He's not a general, he's a dream. I said to him, "You've quite forgotten us, Your Excellency. It isn't kind of Your Excellency to forget your old friends. Natasha Timofeyevna," I said to him, "she's very annoyed with you about it." And he says to me, "But my friend, how can I go when I don't know the bridegroom?" "Oh, nonsense, Your Excellency. Why stand on ceremony? The bridegroom," I said to him, "he's a fine fellow, very free and easy. He's a valuer," I said, "at the law courts. And don't you think, Your Excellency, that he's some rascal, some knave of hearts? Nowadays," I said to him, "even decent women are employed at the law courts." He slapped me on the shoulder. We smoked a Havana cigar each, and now he's coming. Wait a little, ladies and gentlemen. Don't eat.
When's he coming?
This minute. When I left him, he was already putting on his galoshes. Wait a little, ladies and gentlemen. Don't eat yet.
The band should be told to play a march.
Musicians, a march.
Hey!
Mr. Revunov-Karaulov.
Oh, please come in, Your Excellency. So glad you've come.
Awfully.
We, Your Excellency, aren't celebrities. We aren't important, but quite ordinary. But don't think on that account that there's any fraud. We put good people into the best place. We begrudge nothing, please.
Awfully glad.
Let me introduce to you, Your Excellency, the bridegroom, EPAMINOND, MAXIMOVITCH APLOMBOV, with his his newly married wife, Ivan Mikhailovich, employed on the telegraph, a foreigner of Greek nationality, a confectioner by trade, Harlampy Spindonovich Dimba, Osip Lukich Babelmandebsky, and so on and so on. The rest are just trash. Sit down, Your Excellency.
Oh, you're awfully. Oh, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say 2 words to Andrey. I say, old man, I'm a little put out. Why do you call me Your Excellency? I'm not a general. I don't rank as the equivalent of a colonel, even.
I know, only Fyodor Yakovlevitch, be a good man and let us call you Your Excellency. The family here, you see, is patriarchal. It respects the aged. It likes rank.
Oh, well, if it's like that, very well. Awfully.
Used to etiquette for plain people.
Hang on. I've lost the place. What? Oh, yes. In the old days, everybody used to live simply and was happy. In spite of my rank, I am a man who lives plainly. Today, Andrey comes to me and asks me to come here to the wedding. Well, how shall I go? I said, when I don't know them. It's not good manners. But he says, they are good, simple, patriarchal people, glad to see anybody. Well, if that's the case, why not? Very glad to come. It's very dull for me at home by myself, and if my presence at a wedding can make anybody happy, then I'm delighted to be here.
Then that's sincere, is it, Your Excellency? I respect that. I'm a plain man myself without any deception, and I respect others who are like that. Eat, Your Excellency.
Is it long since you retired, Your Excellency?
Yes. Yeah, quite true. Yes, but excuse me, what's this? The fish is sour. And the bread is sour. I can't eat this. Oh, your health. Oh, yes, in the old days, everything was simple and everybody was glad. I loved simplicity. I'm an old man. I retired in 1865. I am 72. Oh, yes, in my younger days, it was different, but oh, you there. You're a sailor, are you?
Yes, just so.
Oh, yes. The Navy means hard work. There's a lot to think about and get a headache over. Every insignificant word has, so to speak, a special meaning. For instance, hoist at topsails and mainsail. Well, what's it mean? A sailor can tell, with almost mathematical precision.
The health of His Excellency, Fyodor Yakovlevitch Revunov-Karauolov.
Yats? What's a yat?
Your Excellency had just expressed yourself on the subject of the hard work involved in a naval career. But is telegraphy any easier? Nowadays, Your Excellency, nobody is appointed to the telegraphs if he cannot read and write French and German. But the transmissions of telegraphs is the most difficult thing of all. Awfully difficult. Just listen.
What does that mean?
It means I honor you, Your Excellency, for your virtues.
Oh.
I think it's easy. Listen now, listen.
Louder, I can't hear.
That means, Madam, how happy I am to hold you in my embraces.
What, madam, are you talking about? Yes. Oh, yes. If there is a fresh headwind, you must, now let's see. You must hoist your foretop halyards and topsail halyards. And the order is on the cross trees to the foretop halyards and topsail halyards. And at the same time as the sails get loose, you take hold underneath of the foresail and foretopsail halyards, stays and braces.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yes, there are a great many orders to give. Furl the foretopsail and the foretop gallant sail. Now, what does that mean? It's very simple. It means that if the top and the top gallant sails are lifting the halyards, they must level the foretop and foretop gallant halyards on the hoist. And at the same time, the top gallant braces, as needed, are loosened according to the direction of the wind.
FYODOR Yakovlevitch, Madame ZHIGALOV asks you to talk about something else. It's very dull for the guests who can't understand.
What? Who's dull? What? Young man, now suppose the ship is lying by the wind on the starboard tack on full sail, and you've got to bring her before the wind. What's the order? Yeah, well, first you whistle up above.
FYODOR Yakovlevitch, that's enough. Eat something.
As soon as the men are on the deck, you give the order, to your places. Oh, what a life. You give orders, and at the same time, you've got to keep your eyes on the sailors who run about like flashes of lightning and get the sails and braces right. And at the last, you can't restrain yourself and you shout, good children.
On this occasion, so to speak, on the day on which we have met together to honor our dear...
Yes, you've got to remember all that. For instance, hoist the topsail halyards, lower the topsail gallants.
Why does he keep on interrupting? We shan't get through a single speech like that.
We are dull people, Your Excellency, and don't understand a word of all that. But if you were to tell us something appropriate...
I've already had supper, thank you. Did you say there was goose? Oh, thanks. Oh, yes, I remember the old days. It's pleasant, young man. You sail on the sea, you have no worries. And, do you remember the joy of tacking? Is there a sailor who doesn't glow at the memory of that maneuver? As soon as the word is given and the whistle blown and the crew begins to go up, it's as if an electric spark has run through them all, from the captain to the cabin boy. Everybody's excited.
How dull, how dull.
No, thank you. I've had supper. Everybody's ready and looks to the senior officer. He gives the command, stand by gallants and topsail braces on the starboard side, main and counter braces to port. Everything's done in a twinkling. Top sheets and jib sheets are pulled, taken to starboard. The ship takes the wind, and at last the sails fill out. The senior officer orders to the braces, and himself keeps an eye on the mainsail. And when at last this sail is filling and the ship begins to turn, he yells at the top of his voice, let go the braces, loose the main halyards. Everything flies about, and there's general confusion for a moment, and everything is done without an error. The ship has been tacked.
The manners! Oh, you ought to be ashamed of yourself at your age.
Oh, did you say sausage? No, I haven't had any, thank you.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself at your age. General, your manners are awful.
Ladies and gentlemen, is it worth it, really?
Well, in the first place, I'm not a general, but a second-class naval captain, which according to the table of precedence corresponds to a lieutenant colonel.
Well, if you're not a general, then what did you go and take our money for? We never paid you to behave like that.
What money?
You know what money. You know that you got 25 rubles from Andraey Andreyevich. And you look out, Andrei. I never asked you to hire men like that.
there now, let it drop. Is it worth it?
Paid? Hired? Well, what is it?
Just let me ask you this. Did you receive 25 rubles from Andrey Andreyevich?
What, 25 rubles? Oh, that's what it is. Now I understand it all. How mean, how mean.
Did you take the money?
I haven't taken any money. Get away from me. How mean, how low to insult an old man, a sailor, an officer who has served long and faithfully. Oh, if you were decent people, I could call somebody out. Oh, but what can I do now? Where's the door? Which way do I go? Waiter! Waiter, show me the way out. Waiter! Oh, how mean, how low.
Andrei, where are those 25 rubles?
Is it worth bothering about such trifles? What does it matter? Everybody's happy here, and here you go. The health of the bride and bridegroom. Hey! The health of the bride and bridegroom.
I'm suffocating. Give me atmosphere. I am suffocating with all you around me.
Oh, my beauty! My beauty! Ladies and gentlemen, on this occasion, if I may say so.
And curtain. He does like his shambolic family gatherings, doesn't he?
Yes. Yes.
Good job, everyone. How easy and how much things can go awry.
Yep.
And,
I pocketed every kopeck.
That's right.
How mean, how mean.
Okay, well, I think the next piece is from actually one of the more recognizable plays, Uncle Vanya.
All right, I got
so
to it. Yeah, page 81, right?
Page 81. Yes.
Okay, give me a
Michael
couple of
and
minutes.
Rachel. Yeah.
Yeah, just give me a minute to get it all together here.
All right, I'll give like a little background on this. Probably you all know the plot of Uncle Vanya, but this scene takes place. Vanya who has a crush on the professor's young wife Yelena, has caught Yelena and Dr. Astrov in a kiss, and shortly afterwards, the professor, who has made use of the fact that Vanya and his whole family have been taking care of his estate, announces his decision to sell the estate, and in reaction, Vanya shoots at him. And this scene takes place right after that. You still need more time?
No, I'm good. Are you going to start with leave me by yourself?
Leave me by myself at the bottom of 81.
All right, I'm all set.
Oh. Leave me by myself.
I would, with the greatest pleasure. I ought to have gone long ago, but I shan't leave until you have returned what you took from me.
I took nothing from you.
I am not jesting. Don't detain me. I really must go.
I took nothing of yours.
You didn't. Very well. I shall have to wait a little longer, and then you will have to forgive me if I resort to force. We shall have to bind you and search you. I mean what I say.
Do as you please. Oh, to make such a fool of myself. To shoot twice and to miss both times. I shall never forgive myself.
When the impulse came to shoot, it would have been as well had you put a bullet through your own head.
Strange. I attempted murder, and I am not going to be arrested and brought to trial. That means they think me mad. Me, I am mad. And those who hide their worthlessness, their dullness, their crying heartlessness behind a professor's mask, they are sane. Those who marry old men and then deceive them under the noses of all are sane. I saw you kiss her. I saw you in each other's arms.
Yes, sir. I did kiss her. So there.
No, it is the earth that is mad because she still bears us on her breast.
That is nonsense.
Well, am I not a madman and therefore irresponsible? Haven't I the right to talk nonsense?
This is a farce. You are not mad. You are simply a ridiculous fool. I used to think every fool was out of his senses, but now I see that lack of sense is a man's normal state, and you are perfectly normal.
Oh, if you only knew how ashamed I am. These piercing pangs of shame are like nothing on earth. I can't endure them. What can I do? What can I do?
Nothing.
You must tell me something. Oh my God, I am 47 years old. I may live to 60. I still have 13 years before me. An eternity. How shall I be able to endure life for 13 years? What shall I do? How can I fill them? Oh, don't you see? Don't you see? If only I could live the rest of my life in some new way. If I could only wake some still, bright morning and feel that life had begun again, that the past was forgotten and vanished like smoke. Oh, to begin again anew. Tell me how to begin.
What nonsense. What sort of a new life can you and I look forward to? We can have no hope.
None?
None. Of that I am convinced.
Tell me what to do. Oh, I feel such a burning pain here.
Stop! It may be that posterity, which will despise us for our blind and stupid lives, will find some road to happiness, but we, you and I, have but one hope, the hope that we may be visited by visions, perhaps by pleasant ones, as we lie resting in our graves. Yes, brother. There were only two respectable, intelligent men in this county, you and I. 10 years or so of this life of ours, this miserable life, have sucked us under, and we have become as contemptible and petty as the rest. But don't try to talk me out of my purpose. Give me what you took from me, will you?
I took nothing from you.
You took a little bottle of morphine out of my medicine case. Listen, if you are positively determined to make an end to yourself, go into the woods and shoot yourself there. Give up the morphine, or there will be a lot of talk and guesswork. People will think I gave it to you. I don't fancy having to perform a post-mortem on you. Do you think I should find it interesting?
Leave me alone.
Sonia, your uncle has stolen a bottle of morphine out of my medicine case and won't give it up. Tell him that his behavior is, well, unwise. I haven't time. I must be going.
Uncle Vanya, did you take the morphine?
Yes, he took it. I am absolutely sure.
Give it up. Why do you want to frighten us? Give it up, Uncle Vanya. My misfortune is perhaps even greater than yours, but I am not plunged in despair. I endure my sorrow and shall endure it until my life comes to a natural end. You must endure yours too. Give it up, dear darling Uncle Vanya. Give it up. You are so good, and I am sure you will have pity on us and give it up. You must endure your sorrow, Uncle Vanya. You must endure it.
There it is. And now, We must get to work at once. We must do something, or else I shall not be able to endure it.
Yes, yes. To work. As soon as we've seen them off, we shall go to work.
And end of scene. Very good. Thank you, both of you.
Yes, that was terrific. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Derek, for putting that together. That's wonderful.
So heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking. Ugh.
I was in a production of that at the Cocteau.
Yeah.
The Swedish ambassador, who was a great supporter of the Cocteau, came one night, and of course he came with his security guard, and they stood up at the back of the theater. And when Vanya came out firing the gun, their hands instinctively went straight to their shoulder holsters.
Whoa! Wow!
Another time we were doing a schools performance, and half the theater was filled with, it was one of those remedial schools for kids who dropped out of high school, never got a high school qualification, mostly black, very streetwise kids who were loving every minute of it. And again, when Vanya came out firing the gun, they're jumping up in their seats saying, "You missed him again, give it to me, I'll do it, I'll fix him."
Yeah, there you turkey jab. Yeah.
Very difficult to exit with a straight face when they're doing that.
I saw it in Russian, the Moscow Art Theater at the National Actor over in England. It's like 1990. But before that, a couple of years before that, at Stratford, Ontario. Oh gosh, I saw it twice. I was waitressing illegally all summer, 1978, and the Canadian national treasure, Martha Henry, who just passed away, you know. Who was born in America, actually. She was Elena, and Brian Bedford was Astrov, and William Hutt was Vanya.
Okay.
And I went
that new Sonia Friedman version that was broadcast recently. That was very good. The one that was on the West End.
I went backstage the second time, and I met at the end of the show. I staged Georgiani, Martha Henry, and she was tiny, and she was cleaning her face. She had a white bathroom, and she came, and I couldn't think of a thing to say. I was just, you know. She looked at me like, yes, and I'm like,
which one are we? We're not doing the anniversary yet, are we? Because
I think another thing from Uncle Vanya. Trudy, you wanted to do the speech from Elena, and then I think we're going on to the anniversary.
All right. I thought, isn't Mark here? I thought Mark was going to do something.
Oh, Mark, are you here? Does Mark, I think Mark and Jennifer, are you guys doing a story? Do you need to do that earlier, or?
You can go ahead of us, because we can do the anniversary later.
Okay. If he's here, we're going to do part of a scene from The Seagull.
Oh, wow.
Okay, cool. Well, let's stay on Uncle Vanya first and have Trudy do that, and then we'll go on to your scene from The Seagull, which is great. Okay. Good to get the major plays covered.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, great.
Break a leg.
Great, thank you, everybody. We have to go back and act to Act 3, and this is Helena talking to herself after she has a conversation with Sophie in which she agrees to speak to Dr. Astrov because Sophie has confessed her love for the doctor. Of course, Sophie. Yes. I'll speak to him. I'll speak to him. There is nothing on God's earth that is worse than to know the secret of another human being and to know that there is nothing one can do to help. Of course, he doesn't love her. That's painfully obvious, but why shouldn't he marry her? She's certainly not pretty, but she's so clever and pure and good and hardworking. She would make an excellent wife for a country doctor at his age. No, that would be wrong. That would be wrong. I can understand how the poor child feels. Here she exists in all this desperate loneliness with no one about her but these colorless, desperate shadows that go mooning around, talking drivel and knowing nothing except to eat and to drink and to sleep. And who from time to time should appear among them but this Dr. Astrov. So different, so handsome, so interesting, so intelligent, so charming. It was like seeing the moon rise on a dark night. Oh, to surrender oneself to his embrace, to lose oneself in his arms. I'm a little in love with him myself. It's true. I am. When he is not here, I'm lonely, and when I think of him, I smile. That Uncle Vanya says I have a gypsy's look in my veins, blood in my veins. Give rein to your nature. For once in your life, let yourself go. Perhaps I should. Perhaps I should fly away from all of your sleepy faces and your sleepy talk and forget that you have ever existed at all. But I am a coward. I am afraid. My conscience would torment me. I can guess why he comes here every day, and I feel guilty already. I should like to fall on my knees at Sophie's feet and beg her forgiveness and weep. End of scene.
Nice one. Good speech, that.
Nice. Yeah.
Well done.
Love it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. Great. It's so great. There's so much wonderful, the richness and humanity of Chekhov is just so.
It also shows his obsession with, fascination with sound and music and things. I mean, when the play opens, you've got the tapping sound, which a lot of productions just miss out, but that's the sound of the old caretaker walking round and tapping the bottom of the dasher to scare the rats out, so that that was his job every night at sundown, was to frighten the rats away. And that atmospheric sound going around the house.
Oh, it's an important element, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Somehow David Mamet didn't realize that.
Oh, really? For heaven's sake.
Great. Well, so moving along. So should we be going next with we were talking about the scene from the seagull, or the anniversary is what we had in the schedule. Does somebody need to go sooner on this, or?
I wanted to ask you if Jackie is still interested in doing that little scene from Cherry Orchard.
Well, at this point, let's actually, Jackie, you're muted, and Eleanor, you were muted as well. We just
I've unmuted myself. I do need to go as soon as maybe.
So
if we don't get today, we could do it on Thursday night or something. You know, we could do, if we don't get to
yeah,
do
we
it
can
today.
do others. So can we go on with the Jennifer? Is that okay with
Not
you?
ready for the anniversary, and I have to download something. I thought somebody was going ahead of us, and then I'll be ready. So I have to do something, and I'll be ready for the anniversary. I thought we were going after, so I'm not ready to do that. So whoever wants to go ahead of us can go ahead of us. I just need a few minutes.
Okay, so Jennifer, so it's Jennifer and Mark, you're doing a scene from the Seagull?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Okay, I guess so. I think that's Mark, you there? Or
what scene are you doing?
We're gonna do a scene at the beginning
Yes,
between
okay, all right, yeah. Yep.
between Nina and Traplia.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you.
Okay. My father and his wife will never let me come here. They call this place Bohemia and are afraid I shall become an actress. But this lake attracts me as does the gulls. My heart is full of you.
We are alone.
Isn't that someone over there?
No.
What is that tree?
An elm. An
Why
elm.
does it look so dark?
This evening, everything looks dark now. Don't go away early. I implore you.
No, I must.
What? What if I were to follow you, Nina? I shall stand in your garden all night with my eyes on your window.
No, this would be impossible. The watchman would see you, and treasure is not used to you yet. He will bark.
I love you.
Hush.
Who is that? Is it you, Jacob?
It's her.
See?
Great, thank you.
What
Thank
can
you
you
so
say
much.
about that? There's just nothing.
There's
Yeah.
so many, yeah, we have to, this year also, I'll have to find a translation so we can do Ivanov, so we haven't done that one, but to do the Seagull again, I mean, to do all the major ones.
Oh, I'm desperate
And,
to do Ivanov. Oh, well, what do you?
Yeah, so now I guess we want to get on to the anniversary. Michael, if you're ready, or if Jackie, we got everybody for that, or is Eleanor still here? So
I'm here. I'm here. Oh,
I'm here.
If they have time, we can do it. It's up to you. We'll see what.
Great background, Jackie.
Oh, you like my background? Yeah, I sent it to you. I sent it to all of you. If you need.
Yeah, great.
I did not get it.
Oh, is Eleanor in this? Are you in this, Eleanor? Yes, I'll send it to you. Okay. All right. All right. Let's.
So
you do.
When the Seagull also.
I'm a little confused. Ken? Is Ken here? Because I thought I cast you. There are two officers at the end, so you can take the first officer, and Eleanor, you take the second officer, okay?
Okay. Wait a moment. I thought you were giving me all the directors of the bank. Wait,
No,
what page are we on? What page?
It's at the ending, and there are two directors of the bank. So Ken will take the first one, and you'll take the second one.
What page, please?
It's about 103, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I need another minute. Just
One of the deputation. You had said that I would be doing.
I know, but I didn't hear from you or talk to you, and I didn't.
I said I would do it. I said it to you in person twice.
Have you got?
And-
Have you got your? Was that your dad's book? You've got
I'm the deputation.
yeah, I need to turn off my virtual background. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So we're just so yeah, I guess Michael just
I
needs a
am the
moment
long-
to get everything
I
ready
am
for
the
this, and I do
long-winded deputation person.
Right.
Okay. I don't know what the cast is for this one, but this is the Honing the Craft in Hard Time. And what am I doing? I'm not good at showing my father's
That's
book,
good.
which is collection of scenes and monologues from his plays, including the one that Angus had read earlier about this famous playwright whom we are honoring
keep
today,
talking.
Anton Pavlovich Chekhov.
Yeah, man, I'm buying that.
so-
Your father is a wonderful playwright.
I just gotta pee. I'll be right
Oh yeah.
And I have the honor I had the honor as an 18-year-old at Interlochen Arts Academy, my senior year. It was 1978, and your father wrote the musical Happiness Ahead, and I got to play the lead along with Lonnie Morella, who is now known as Lanny Martin. Brilliant. It was set in the Woodrow Wilson years. Oh, man. He's such a good writer.
He was good at his period piece. The original version of People at Dinner introduced me to the left-wing rebel songs from the protesters in New Jersey.
Cool.
Virginia, you were saying you've seen Chekhov in the original Russian.
I saw it.
Do you speak Russian?
No, but I used to speak good Czech, believe it or not. It's a long story. But no, I saw it because it was at the National Theatre. You know, everybody in London thought it was cool to go. What would it be like I don't want to get into this too long right now, Eleanor, but anyway, it was fascinating because, you know, I didn't understand it. Most people in the audience, I don't think, understood word for word. If you already knew the play, I had already seen it several times and read it. I knew what they were saying, basically. And it was interesting because it was a very desultory, kind of slow pace. This particular production, they were taking their time. It's their native tongue. And that was fascinating. I could tell you a lot more about it later. I remember so much about that production. It was very
all right, because yeah, that'd be great. We can talk some more afterwards, but I think now we're on to the anniversary. Is Michael, I see an abacus there, but I hope Michael's there. I mean, I don't.
I'm here, I'm coming. Be right there.
Oh, that's a great background for you, Michael, in this. That's great. The bank clerk, the harried bank clerk.
Yeah, I was looking for stock images of
That's great.
countered. All right, is anybody reading stage directions or what?
Do you want stage directions? Do you want stage directions?
I don't know. What do you think? I think what do you think, guys?
Like
yeah,
a little bit.
I like
okay, just the physical things, not how you're
these
feeling
kinds.
or anything.
It would be nice.
Yeah,
A little bit. Yeah, it helps.
I like it. The entrances and all that. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so is everybody here then? We can begin. The action takes place at the bank. Anything you need to say, Jackie or Michael, before we begin, or?
Just go with it. Play your actions and do your best.
Okay.
Gracias.
The private office of the chairman of directors. On the left is a door leading into the public department. There are two desks. The furniture aims at a deliberately luxurious effect with armchairs covered in velvet, flowers, statues, carpets, and a telephone. It is midday. Kieran is alone. He wears long felt boots and is shouting through the door.
Send out to the chemist for 15 kopecks worth of valerian drops and tell them to bring some drinking water into the director's office. This is the 100th time I've asked. I'm absolutely tired out. This is the 4th day I've been working without a chance of shutting my eyes. From morning to evening, I work here. From evening to morning at home. And I've got an inflammation all over me. Hot, cold, and I cough and my legs ache and there's something dancing before my eyes. Our scandal of a chairman, the brood, is going to read a report at a general meeting. Our bank, its present and future. You think he was a gambetta? 2, 1, 1, 6, 0, 7. Next, there's 6, 0, 1, 6. It just wants to throw dust into people's eyes. And so I sit here and I work for him like a galley slave. This report of his poetic fiction and nothing more. And here I've got to sit here day after day and add figures. Devil take his soul. I can't stand it. That's it. This is it's 1, 3, 7, 2, 1. Not. Promise to reward me for my work if everything goes well today. The public is properly put into its blinkers. He promised me a gold charm and 300 rubles bonus. Yeah. We'll see. Yes. But if my work all goes for nothing, then you'd better look out. I'm very excitable. If I lose my temper, I'm capable of committing some crime, so look out. Yes.
Thank you, thank you. I am extremely grateful. The present, my dear colleagues, will be preserved to the day of my death as a memory of the happiest days of my life. Yes, gentlemen, once more, I thank you. Mwah. My dear, my respected Kuzma Nikolaevich.
I have the honor to congratulate you, Andraey Andreyevich, on the 50th anniversary of our bank. And I hope that...
Thank you, my dear sir. Thank you. I think that in view of the unique character of the day, as it is an anniversary, we may kiss each other. I'm very, very glad. Thank you for your service, for everything. If in the course of time during which I've had the honor to be chairman of this bank, anything useful has been done, the credit is due more than to anybody else, to my colleagues. Yes, 15 years, as my name's Shapulkin. Where's my report? Is it getting on?
Yes, there's only 5 pages left.
Excellent, then it will be ready by 3.
If nothing occurs to disturb me, I'll get it done. Nothing of any importance is now left.
Splendid, splendid, as my name's Shapulkin. The general meeting will be at 4, if you please. My dear fellow, give me the first half, I'll peruse it. Quick. I base enormous hopes on this report. It is my profession de foi, or better still, my firework. My firework, as my name's Shapulkin. Oh, I'm hellishly tired. My gout kept giving me trouble last night. All the morning I was running about, and all these excitements, ovations, agitation. I'm tired.
2 naught 0 3 9 2 0. I can't see straight with all these figures. 3 1 6 4 1 5.
Another unpleasantness. This morning, your wife came to see me and complained about you once again. Said that last night you had threatened her and her sister with a knife. Kuzma Nikolaevich, what do you mean by that? Oh.
As it's an anniversary, Andraey Andreyevich, I'll ask for a special favor. Please, even if it's only out of respect for my toil, don't interfere in my family life. Please.
Yours is an impossible character, Kuzma Nikolaevich. You're an excellent and respected man, but you behave to women like some scoundrel. Yes, really. I don't understand why you hate them so.
I wish I could understand why you love them so.
The employees have just presented me with an album, and the directors, as I've heard, are going to give me an address and a silver loving cup. Very nice. As my name's Shapulkin. It isn't excessive. A certain pomp is essential to the reputation of the bank. Devil take it. You know everything, of course. I composed the address myself, and I bought the cup myself, too. Well, then there was the 45 rubles for the cover of the address, but you can't do without that. They'd never have thought of it for themselves. Look at the furniture. Just look at it. They say I'm stingy, that all I want is that the locks on the doors should be polished, that the employees should wear fashionable ties, and that a fat hall porter should stand by the door. No, sir. Polished locks and a fat porter mean a good deal. I can behave as I like at home. I eat and sleep like a pig, get drunk.
Please don't make hints.
Nobody's making hints. What an impossible character yours is. As I was saying, at home, I can live like a tradesman, a parvenu, and be up to any games I like. But here, everything must be en grand. This is a bank. Here, every detail must be imponieren, so to speak, and have a majestic appearance. My service to the bank has been just this. I've raised its reputation. A thing of immense importance is known. Immense. My name's Chubukov. My dear man, a deputation of shareholders may come here at any moment, and there you are in your felt boot, wearing a scarf and some absurdly colored jacket. You might have put on a frock coat, or at any rate, a dark jacket.
My health matters more to me than your shareholders. I've an inflammation all over me.
But you will admit that it's untidy. You spoil the ensemble.
If the deputation comes, I can go and hide myself. Won't matter if 7, 1, 7, 2, 1, 5, not. I don't like untidiness myself. 7, 2, 9. I can't stand untidiness. It would have been wiser of you not to have invited ladies in today's anniversary dinner.
Oh, that's nothing.
I know that you're going to have that hall filled with them tonight to make a good show, but you look out or they'll spoil everything. They cause all sorts of mischief and disorder.
On the contrary, feminine society elevates.
Yes. Your wife seems intelligent, but on the Monday of last week, she let something off that upset me for 2 days. In front of a lot of people, she suddenly asks, "Is it true that at our bank, my husband brought up a lot of the shares of the Drishny Bank, which have been falling on exchange? My husband is so annoyed about it." That's in front of people. Why do you tell them everything? I don't understand. You want them to get you into serious trouble?
Well, that's enough. Enough. All that's too dull for an anniversary. Which reminds me, by the way, my wife ought to be here soon. I really ought to have gone to the station to meet the poor little thing, but there's no time. I'm tired. I must say, I'm not glad of her. That is to say, I am glad, but I'd be gladder if she only stayed another couple of days with her mother. She'll want me to spend the whole evening with her tonight, whereas we have arranged a little excursion for ourselves. Oh, my nerves have already started dancing me about. They are so strained that I think the very smallest trifle would be enough to make me break into tears. No, I must be strong, as my name's Chubukov. Tatiana, my love.
Enter Tatiana, Alexandra.
Yes. Oh.
The nick of time.
Darling.
We were only speaking of you just now.
Well, you're very dull without me. Are you well? I haven't been home yet. I came straight here from the station. I've a lot to tell you. I couldn't wait. I shan't take off my clothes. I only wait. Stay a minute. Oh, good morning, Kuzma Nikolaevich Kunin. Is everything all right at home?
Yes, quite. And you know, we've got to look plumper and better this week. Well, what sort of time did you have?
Oh, wow, splendid. Mama and Katya send their regards. Vasily Andreevich sends you a kiss. Auntie sends you a jar of jam and is annoyed because you didn't write. Zina sends you a kiss. Oh, if you knew what happened. If you only knew. I'm even frightened to tell you. Ooh, if you only knew, but I see by your eyes. You're sorry I came.
Oh, on the contrary, darling.
No. Oh, poor Katya, poor Katya. I'm so sorry for her. So sorry for her.
This is the bank's anniversary today, darling. We may get a deputation of the shareholders at any moment, and you're not dressed.
Oh, yes. Oh, the anniversary. Oh, I congratulate you, gentlemen. I wish you. So it means that today's the day of the meeting, the dinner. That's good. And you remember the beautiful address which you spent such a long time composing for the shareholders? Will it be read today?
My dear, we don't talk about these things. You'd really better go home.
Well, in a minute, in a minute, I'll tell you everything in 1 minute and go. Oh, I'll tell you from the very beginning. Well, when you were seeing me off, you remember I was sitting next to that stout lady and I began to read. Well, I don't like to talk on the train. I read for 3 stations and I didn't say a word to anyone. Then, when the evening set in and I felt so mournful, you know, with such sad thoughts, and a young man was sitting opposite me. Not a bad-looking fellow, brunette. Well, we fell into conversation. A sailor came along then. Some student or other. I told them I wasn't married. And they did look after me. We chattered till midnight. The brunette kept on telling me the most awfully funny stories. And a sailor kept on singing. And my chest began to ache from laughing. And then the sailor, those sailors. And when he got to name my name was Titania. I can't even say my own name. Tatiana. You know what he sang? Onegin, don't let me conceal it. I love Tatiana madly.
Tanya, dear, Tanya, dear, you're disturbing Kuzma Nikolaevich. Go home, dear. Later on.
Well, and now I've suddenly sort of lost the PDF, but we're only on page 80. Oh, yes. No, let him hear if he wants to. It's awfully interesting. I'll end in a minute. Teresia came in to meet me at the station. Some young man or other turns up, an inspector of taxes, I think. Quite handsome. Yeah, especially his eyes. Teresia introduced me, and the 3 of us rode off together. It was lovely weather. And so, what's going on out there? There's some disturbance out there.
What are you dragging at me for? What else? I wanted myself. I had the honor, Your Excellency. I am the wife of the civil servant, NASTASYA FYODOROVNA Marchutkina.
What do you want?
Well, you see, Your Excellency, my husband had been ill for 5 months, and while he was at home getting better, he was suddenly dismissed for no reason, Your Excellency. When I went to get a salary, they deducted 24 rubles, 36 kopecks from it. What for, I asked? They said, well, he drew from the employee's account and the others had to make it up. How can that be? How could he draw anything without my permission? No, Your Excellency. I am a poor woman. My lodgers are all I have to live on. I'm weak and defenseless. Everybody does me some harm, and nobody has a kind word for me.
Excuse me.
Yes, but but first, last week I suddenly received a letter from my mother. She writes, a certain Grendulevsky has proposed to my sister Katya. A nice, modest young man, but with no means of his own, and no assured position. And unfortunately, just think of it, Katya has absolutely gone on him. What's to be done? Mama writes telling me to come at once and influence Katya.
Excuse me, you made me lose my place. You go talking about your mama and Katya, and I understand nothing, and I've lost my place.
Well, what does that matter? You listen when a lady is talking to you. Why are you so angry today? Are you in love?
Excuse me, but what is this? I can't make head or tail of it.
Are you in love? Oh, you're blushing.
Tanya, dear, do go out into the public office for a moment. I shan't be long.
Oh, right.
I don't understand any of this. You've obviously come to the wrong place, madam. Your petition doesn't concern us at all. You should go to the department in which your husband was employed.
I've been there a good many times these 5 months, and they wouldn't even look at my petition. I've given up all hopes. But thanks to my son-in-law, Boris Matveevich, I thought of coming to you. You go, mother, he says, and applies to Mr. Shapuchin. He's an influential man and can do anything. Oh, help me, Your Excellency.
We can't do anything for you, Mrs. Merchukina. You must understand that your husband, as far as I can gather, was in the employ of the Army Medical Department, while this is a private commercial concern, a bank. Don't you understand that?
Oh, Your Excellency, I can produce a doctor's certificate of my husband's illness. Here it is. Just look.
That's all right. I quite believe you, but it's not our business. Oh, she's disturbing the employees. It's strange, and it's even silly. Surely your husband knows where you ought to apply.
Your Excellency, I don't let him know anything. He just cried out, "It isn't your business. Get out of here. Get out." And
I repeat, your husband was in the employ of the Army Medical Department, and this is a bank, a private commercial concern.
Oh, yes, I understand, my dear. In that case, Your Excellency, just order them to pay me 15 rubles. I don't mind taking that to be going on with.
Oh.
Andrey Andreyevich, I'll never finish the report at this rate.
One moment. I can't get any sense of you, but I do understand that you're taking this business here is as absurd as if you took a divorce petition to a chemist's or into a gold assay office.
Oh,
just wait one minute, dear. What has it got to do with us if you haven't been paid? As it happens, madam, this is an anniversary today. We're busy, and somebody may be coming here at any moment. Excuse me.
Oh, Your Excellency, have pity on me. And often, I'm a weak, defenseless woman. I'm tired to death. I'm having trouble with my lodgers, and I'm kind of my husband. And I've got the house to look after. And my son-in-law's out of work.
Mrs. Merchukina, no, excuse me. I can't talk to you. My head, even in a whirl. You are disturbing us and making us waste our time. Oh, what a business is. My name's Shabukin. Kuzma Nikolaevich, will you please explain to Mrs. Merchukina?
What do you want?
I'm a weak, defenseless woman. I may look all right, but if you were to take me to pieces, you wouldn't find a single healthy bit in me. I can hardly stand on my legs, and I've lost my appetite. I drank my coffee today and got no pleasure out of it.
I asked you, what do you want?
Oh, tell them, my dear, to give me 15 rubles, and a month later will do for the rest.
But haven't you been told perfectly plainly that this is a bank?
Yes, and if you like, I can show you the doctor's certificate.
You got a head on your shoulders or what?
My dear, I'm asking for what's mine. My lord, I don't want what isn't mine.
I ask you, madam, have you got a head on your shoulders or what? Well, devil take me. I haven't any time to talk. I'm busy. That way, please.
And where's the money?
You haven't a head, but this.
What? Never mind. You can do that to your own wife, but I'm the wife of a civil servant. You can't do that to me.
Get out of this.
No, none of that. No.
If you don't get out the second, I'm going to call for the hall porter. Get out.
Never mind. I'm not afraid. I've seen the like of you before, miser.
Oh, don't think I've ever seen a more awful woman in my life. Oh, gives me a headache. I tell you once more, dear, do you hear me? If you don't get out of this, you old devil, I'll grind you into powder. I've got such a character that I'm perfectly capable of laming you for life. I can commit a crime.
I've heard barking dogs before. I'm not afraid. I've seen the like of you before.
Can't stand it. I'm ill. I can't. They let the banks get filled with women and I can't finish my report. I can't.
I don't want anybody else's money but my own, according to law. You ought to be ashamed of yourself, sitting in a government in felt boots.
Enter Shapuchin and Tatyana Alexeyevna.
Virginia, you're muted.
We spent the evening at the Berezhnitsky. Katya was wearing a sky blue frock, foulard silk, cut low at the neck. She looks very well with her hair done over her head. And I did her hair myself. She was perfectly fascinating.
Yes, fascinating. They may be here any minute.
Oh, Your Excellency.
Oh, what else? What do you want?
Oh, Your Excellency. This man, he tapped the table with his fingers and then his head. You told him to look after my affair, but he insults me and says all sorts of things. I'm a weak, defenseless woman.
All right, madam, I'll see to it and take the necessary steps. Go away now, later on. Oh my God.
Andrey Andronovich, send for the hall porter and have her turned out neck and crop.
No.
What else can we do?
No, she'll kick up a row, and we aren't the only people in the building.
Oh, Your Excellency.
But I've got to finish my report. I won't have time. I won't.
Your Excellency, when shall I have the money? I want it now.
Oh, remarkably decent woman. Madam, I've already told you this is a bank, a private commercial concern.
Oh, be a father to me, Your Excellency. If the doctor's certificate isn't enough, I can get you another from the police. Tell them to give me the money.
Oh.
What? Oh no, I was all, Mother, well, haven't you already been told you're disturbing them? Oh, right, have you? As if.
Mother, beautiful one, nobody will help me. All I do is eat and drink, and just now I didn't even enjoy my coffee at all.
How much do you want? How much do you want?
24 rubles, 36 kopecks.
All right. Here are 25 rubles. Take it and go.
I thank you very humbly, Your Excellency.
It's time I went home. Oh, but I haven't done yet. I'll finish in a minute and go away. What a time we had. What a time. We went to spend the evening at the Berezhnitsky's. It was all right, quite fun, but nothing in particular. Katya's devoted Grendelivsky was there, of course. Well, I talked to Katya, cried, and induced her to talk to Grendelivsky and refuse him. Well, I thought everything settled in the best possible way. I quieted Mama down, saved Katya, and can be quiet myself. What do you think? Katya and I were going along the avenue just before supper, and suddenly we heard a shot. No, I can't be talking about it calmly. No, I can't. Oh! No, we ran to the summer house, and there, poor Grendelivsky was lying with a pistol in his hand.
I can't stand this. I can't stand it. What else do you want?
Your Excellency, can my husband go back to his job?
He had shot himself right in the heart. Here. And the poor man had fallen down senseless. And he was awfully frightened as he lay there. And asked for a doctor came soon and saved the unhappy man.
Your Excellency, can my husband go back to his job?
No, I can't stand this. I can't stand it. Drive her away, I implore you.
Get out of this.
No, for real, for real.
Awful woman, that one.
What are you doing?
Get out of this. Get out.
It's awful. Oh, sorry.
It's awful. I'm a miserable man. Drive her out. Out with her.
Out of it. Out.
No.
I'll cripple you. I'll knock you out of shape. I'll break the law.
How dare you? How dare you, you impudent fellow? Andre, help! Ah! Andre!
Stop! I implore you. Not such a noise. Have pity on me.
Out of this. Catch her. Hit her. Cut her into pieces.
Stop! I ask you. I implore you.
Little fathers! Little fathers! Little fathers!
Oh, I'm sick!
Yeah,
I'm sick.
beat her!
No!
Cut her into pieces!
No! Oh, my knee. Oh,
little fathers! It's all dark before me.
There's a knock at the door. A voice announces the deputation. The deputation. Reputation,
Out of it.
occupation.
Devil, take me. Yeah, give her to me. I may break the law.
Deeply respected and dear Andrey Andreyevich, throwing a retrospective glance at the past history of our financial administration and reviewing in our minds its gradual development, we receive an extremely satisfactory impression. It is true that in the first period of its existence, the inconsiderable amount of its capital and the absence of serious operations of any description, and also the indefinite aims of this bank, made us attach an extreme importance to the question raised by Hamlet, to be or not to be. And at one time, there were even voices to be heard demanding our liquidation. But at that moment, you became the head of our concern. Your knowledge, energies, and your native tact were the causes of extraordinary success and widespread extension. The reputation of the bank, reputation of the bank.
Father! Father!
The reputation. The reputation of the bank has been raised by you to such a height that we are now the rivals of the best foreign concerns.
Reputation, occupation. The friends that had a walk at night held converse by the pale moonlight. Oh, tell me not that youth is vain, that jealousy has turned my brain.
And throwing an objective glance at the present condition of things, we deeply respected and endeared Andrey Andreyevich. In that case, we'll do it later on. Yes, later on.
The deputation goes out in confusion. Curtain.
Cold reading. It was fun.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, a perfectly ordinary day. We just don't want things to go terrible. And so, of course, they go terribly. I mean, just one little thing going out and then, yeah.
Everybody's got their own agenda in this room.
That's one of the pieces that Neil Simon used as a model for one of his sketches in The Good Doctor.
The Good Doctor, and I produced it.
We all did it.
You remember Susan McCallum was brilliant in your role. Jackie, you were brilliant today. Yeah, you were the wife of the general. It was, how many is it? 10 short stories, 11. I produced the whole thing. It was brilliant. Mid-Atlantic Theater Company.
It was great.
We only have rehearsal photos for posterity. That was 13 years ago. Everybody was brilliant.
I think I did The Good Doctor 5, 6 times. We did it. Steph and I did it. Every police we were.
You did it also at one point, The Good Doctor? Because it's
5 or 6 times. That was where I met my wife in
Really?
University of Georgia. That was
where
a
Neil
thesis
Simon met
production.
his wife as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, Marsha Mason. Marsha Mason.
That's
On
right.
the audition.
Yeah.
I loved
Right.
doing the audition.
Yeah, you know what?
But she cast me in the lead in it, and well, you find a good director, you stick with them, you know.
You know that
Every place we went, we ended up doing it. We did it there, we did it in Illinois, we did it
it's
in
irresistible.
Norwich.
Oh God, it's brilliant. It's so brilliant. And most literature, it's taken from a lot of his short stories. I think he wrote 283 short stories, something like that. And you know, I mean, because that was how he put himself through med school, because he was going to be a doctor. He became a doctor, but he was already having to be the breadwinner, just like James Cagney, for his whole family, because his dad drank himself to death down in the Crimea, that little grocery store. Like Chekhov was like 15 years old. He had to be the breadwinner for his whole family. And anyway, but most like literature professors around the whole world, they could, I mean, come on, you got Edgar Allan Poe, you got great short story writers in every culture, but they really think that Chekhov is like the best of all time in any. He's definitely in the top 3 of 5.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad to hear people bring up The Good Doctor. I did it with a high school as well once.
You did?
It's a fabulous, it's a great show.
And the project I intended to do, so everybody know, I'm glad everybody knows about The Good Doctor. And it even on the page, it's hilarious.
And Christopher Plummer. Yeah, when they did it on Broadway,
have
five
you
actors.
seen the TV? They made a TV version of it for great performances in the 70s.
Oh, they
And
must
it's Richard Chamberlain as Chekhov,
Right.
and Asner, Marsha Mason.
Was it good?
Oh, come on.
It's okay. It's not. It's
Renee Auberjonois was in it. Renee Auberjonois played the character roles, and Christopher Plummer played Chekhov, who was the narrator. For
Okay,
it.
so it was Richard Chamberlain in the great performance from like 77 or something. But it won Tonys in 74, I think. But
it was always classed as a failure. But it was classed as a failure because it didn't make anything like the money that all his other plays did. But then, of course,
right, and it was at the first peak. Yeah.
Well, no, it
And
wasn't
there's
that. It was the
music in
fact
it.
that
There's a song in it.
he had a 5-piece band in it and
5
written all the music. So the cost of it, the cost of the show was about 5 or 6 times what all the other plays were.
The project that I wanted to do in directing this with the kids I did it with one year was, now this actually is a bit of a hidden gem that maybe it will surprise people. I don't know if anyone remembers or read Bob Dylan's Chronicles Part 1.
Oh, cool.
But there's a throwaway line in there. He just says in passing that at this point, whatever, around about 2000, one of his already many, 25 albums, one of his projects is made up entirely. It's essentially a song cycle based on Chekhov stories.
Beautiful.
So, of course, this is the internet of 20 years ago. When I read this, I was living in Russia at the time, and I was.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'm very. I have a lifelong interest in Russia and
oh wow!
In Russia.
Spasibo.
Well, my wife and I even intentionally named our son Anton after Anton Chekhov.
Good old Tony. Yeah.
No, he's Anton.
Yeah. Wow. We got to talk more, Robert. Wow.
Yeah, so there is dedication, and I've got Shakespeare recommendations as well connected to Russia, but that's another.
When I put on
What part of Russia did you live in the northern part?
Yes, in Petersburg.
Oh, freezing. Oh,
so
freezing.
these temperatures are balmy. These temperatures are balmy to you, right?
Right.
No, I'm from New York, but at any rate, but so Dylan says that one of his many albums is essentially a song cycle based on Chekhov stories. Last I checked, the sort of speculative, consensus opinion among Dylan watchers is that it's either Blood on the Tracks or the line in the book is some sort of like, Dylan-esque joke, and none of it really does exist. But there are a number of people who have. I remember the evidence.
They never released it. Oh gosh.
What's that?
He never released it, huh?
No. He did. So it's just a throwaway line in Chronicles, which is supposedly. I mean, everything about Dylan, of course, is always a mystery,
right?
Intentionally. But he, in his what amounts to autobiography, Chronicles, which came out about 20 years ago, says that, oh yeah, one of my albums is a song cycle based on Chekhov. And of course, the internet, even 20 years ago.
Oh, I understand now. And everybody's trying to understand which one it is. Yeah.
And people think it's either blood on the tracks or it's whatever, a joke.
Well, that's very smart. He's very canny. That's a good way to get people to buy your album.
So I've always wanted to do the good doctor along with the songs from Blood on the Tracks to see how they might mesh.
Yeah.
And
cool.
Yeah.
I say it's blonde on blonde.
The Good Doctor has a beautiful song with the short story with the two old.
Blonde on blonde. That song about
there are arguments made for all the albums. Yeah.
The song Sad-Eyed Lady of the Lowland. Beautiful. Sooner or later, everybody must get stoned.
Right.
No, because everybody must get stoned. It's about being stoned and everybody gets judged. And I think that album probably is the most Chekhovian album.
Your background, by the way, is gorgeous right now, Michael. Is that that's what it looks like right now outdoors? Oh no, it's cherry blossoms.
No, that's from
like
a while
snow.
ago. I have to post a winter picture. I'm going to change my cover.
We got like 6 inches here, but in Long Island, I think they must.
Oh, cool. How old is that, Paul?
This is my teddy bear, Kaz, which is since I'm just turned 60. I mean, this is over 50 years old, 55 years old. And it was in 2 productions of The Cherry Orchard that my father directed, because they talk about, it's the nursery. And so this was in it back over 50 years ago.
The name is Kaz.
Kaz.
Did you name him after Cass Elliot, Mamas and the Papas?
No, Kaz, as in Cazenovia, because that's where we lived in Cazenovia, and my father taught at Cazenovia College.
Oh, well, upstate New York.
Your teddy bear looks like the mice in Mouse. MAUS.
Yeah, a fascinating book, right?
Oh, Paul, you didn't have to go out today? You didn't have to go out on the run?
I did. And I did deliver some packages, but they didn't want us out on the streets very much. Unfortunately, a lot of people were not on the streets because the streets weren't great. But then I was sorting some stuff. Then I went to the bathroom so I could start the reading. And then while I was at the bathroom, somebody took over the rest of the work that I had to do. And so they sent me home. So
no, because is it still snowing? Is it still snowing where you are in Jersey, Paul? Because we're in.
It just is stopping now.
Yeah, it seemed like
no,
it was
stopped.
just stopping.
Yes,
it wasn't that much, but it was a lot of windy as well. So it was blown apart, and like some parts of it you're perfectly fine, and then when some parts you get into a drift and I got stuck, and a bunch of guys had to push me out.
45 mile an hour wind gusts.
Yeah, freezing, and it's light powdery snow. We should all go shushing skiing. Yeah, well, no, that got a big round of applause. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it is like a reminder of Russia, where there is lots of snow.
Yeah, it was perfect for this.
But yeah,
I want to agree with Virginia. Can I agree with Virginia? We should all go powder skiing. I have about a half an inch of snow inside my screen porch.
Oh, yeah. You guys are getting hammered up there. Yeah, you're in Connecticut.
Oh yeah, Connecticut's bad, huh? How much you get so far?
It's not pretty. I would say at least maybe 8-10 inches.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I don't think we got that much. I think we got about 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stop in about 3 hours.
Well, at least it's not freaking global warming tropical like Christmas usually.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen a thing where it's like long-term things for where I'm at. It's going to be in the 40s and up to in the 50s later this week. So it's like,
don't fool yourself by that. Yeah.
And then it's like, it doesn't. We are definitely experiencing it, even if this wasn't the hottest year.
We were getting worried because global warming shifting the main streams of water that run up the Atlantic. And there's a story that the Gulf Stream is moving away. And if the Gulf Stream moves away, then we were going to start getting temperatures in Britain
we're really in trouble. I mean, the
appropriate
polar
to
ice caps
the-
are totally.
The
appropriate to
ice
the-
caps are melting.
Oh, yeah,
That's
they
a
are.
lot. Do you know that movie Soylent Green?
Sentence.
Soylent Green takes place in 2022.
Let
Really?
Angus finish his sentence.
That's
What?
all right.
We're
All
acting
right.
like the
Gulf
wedding.
Stream shifts away. England will be getting temperatures.
Well, as cold as New York gets, because it's at the same, pretty much the same
Latitude.
level.
Latitude.
Excuse
And
me.
it's only the Gulf
excuse
Stream that
me.
keep,
No more palm trees.
oh, yeah, yeah.
Let's not get into it. It's very, look, you want to
And
slash
it's-
our wrists. Let's mutually kill ourselves right now. Let's not get into it too much. It's just, come on, man.
Except we can observe that that this was also a concern for Chekhov as well. You
It-
know,
Yes,
as you
it
have,
was.
like very much in
Uncle Vanya.
Astrov
Right,
and-
Astrov
and-
had
I'm
that.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, and
Right.
also I guess the Wood Demon, because he
Yeah,
did
yeah,
write
yeah.
a letter of a lot of things, and he did have.
It was
a
actually, I
strong
think it was the
environmental
first play that
message.
really addressed it.
Right.
It was a,
You
yeah.
could tell the repercussions of the Industrial
Well,
Revolution.
Shakespeare
Beethoven
addressed
used
it.
to- And Shakespeare said the same to Tanya.
Midsummer Night's Dream.
That's right.
So,
I was
Robert,
definitely-
you were in St. Petersburg?
Yeah, I lived in Petersburg for several years.
That's the place that started killing Chekhov. For the first production of The Seagull was at St. Petersburg, and it was done as it turned out it was actually being done as a fundraiser and a farewell for a great comic actress. So the audience all came expecting it to be hysterically funny. And when
that's among the things that I certainly was thinking when reading the proposal this week, like along with the rest of you, sort of noticing how timely it is. Certainly timely in terms of its cynicism.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but you're right. I mean, so right that the history, of course, is about and that cynicism. Of course, what made Chekhov was sort of the marriage with the Moscow Art Theater and Stanislavski, and a different kind of take on it. And that cynicism. I was wondering about the way in which perhaps not only did Stanislavski's production of Chekhov influence the way in which we understand Chekhov, and of course has influenced all kinds of
revolutionized. Yeah.
But you have to
but
remember
also
that
maybe
Chekhov,
the way in which Chekhov's cynicism, I mean, broadly, labeled as such, his kind of take on human nature, as evidenced in like especially these sort of dark comic things about human nature, might have influenced the approach to acting that so focused on human motive.
yeah.
Freud.
What did they say?
was
Chekhov is
Freud.
the kind of stuff where if someone fails to hand you a cup of tea, your world is ended. Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course,
The Russians are
Chekhov
very
disliked
extreme.
Stanislavski. I mean, he hated him.
Yeah.
He
They're Russian.
didn't agree with anything that Stanislavski did.
Yeah.
Huge battles. It was the story that
Oh, really?
after they did because it was Nemirov Dashenka who persuaded the company to do the Seagull. And Stanislavski, when he first read it, thought, this is rubbish. And it was only when they actually sat down to read it, he began to see things in it. But Chekhov was ill in Yalta and couldn't get up to see
Right,
the
with
production.
tuberculosis.
So they staged a special one-off performance so that Chekhov could come up and see it. And he came up, and Stanislavski was doing Trigorin, and he asked Chekhov, well, how did you like it? How did you like my Trigorin? And Chekhov just said, you should have worn check trousers.
Right.
And Stanislavski was incensed. This is ridiculous. But eventually he realized that if the character he'd created was the kind of person who, when he got up in the morning, put on check trousers,
Right.
he would have got him.
Right. Pretentious, a little bit pretentious, right? But
Carried away.
He's a dandy. He's a dandy.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And Tolstoy hated the play and put Chekhov in depression about it.
Yeah. Well, the St. Petersburg production, the audience howled with laughter when Nina did that big long speech of the play within the play at the end of Act One.
Mm-hmm.
And he was so upset. He walked out the theatre and walked up and down St. Petersburg in the freezing cold. God knows what the temperature was, but
These horrible
winter, you know.
So what was coming, you know?
And that triggered the tuberculosis.
Oh gosh, that's right. That's like Stephen Sondheim. He was always so ahead of his time, you know. And he always saw the big picture and the small picture meticulously at the same time. You know?
I love Chekhov.
Oh.
I love and Uncle Vanya when he talks about the land, and the trees and all that. He was so bright, you know.
Yeah.
So great.
And Olga Knipper, the first Irina and the first Anya, he finally fell in love. A lot of people think maybe he was a virgin till then. Who knows?
Yeah.
And they had love and marriage for a couple of years, and then he died. What was he, 46 or 47 when he died?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
I think it was.
If you ever get a
44,
chance to
actually.
see the piece that Mikhalkov, the film that Mikhalkov did, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's
Player
available
piano,
on.
something from a player piano.
That's the one, yeah. If you can get a copy of the DVD of that, one of the extras in it is old black and white film of Olga Knipper.
Oh gosh! Wait, I wonder if it's on YouTube. We got to check. Oh wow!
What's the title of that film?
It's Unfinished Piece for Player Piano. It was put together by Mikhalkov and his cohort based on Chekhov plays.
Oh.
It's also if you want to see how Russians look at Chekhov, that's the one, because that was the last film that Mikhalkov made purely for a Russian audience. Thereafter, he started aiming his films at Western audiences to get
Angus,
and all the
I
rest
got
of it.
locked out. What movie was it that you were referring to?
Unfinished Piece for Player Piano. There's a DVD of it, and it's got extras.
I can find
Mikhalkov
it.
talking about the set, and they got an old Dasha that was run down that they filmed it in. But it's little things, you know. The hero in it is singing a song about, as a student, falling in love with a woman who's actually at this gathering and playing his guitar, and it starts off, you know, how fun the time was and how happy it was. And then she leaves him and goes off in the train and leaves him alone. Now, we would do that, starting off happy and cheerful and ending up sad and miserable. But they do it the other way around. He starts off sad and miserable and ends up with it bouncing along at the end when she leaves him. And it's the
Freedom.
Russian idea.
Interesting. That's
it's absolutely fascinating. It's a piece.
That is.
And you
but
realize,
that's reflective of the society. See,
oh yeah,
Stella Adler would say that.
It really shows the high farce and screaming comedy that they put on the that when it's really tragic, you laugh.
The fact that at the ending, when she leaves, that he's free and happy.
Yeah,
says a lot about the society that it was around at that time, and Americans didn't know that. That's why I think Stella Adler really means when she says you've got to consider the time and place.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Of when that play was written. Probably why
it's the same with all his musical references. So many of them, they're just dropped in, and we don't know where they are because the opera that he's referring to has been lost in time. You know. And if you look at my favorite one is when the doctor comes in after in the Three Sisters, and the two guys have had their duel and one of them is dead, and the doctor comes in and he does that famous tarara boom die. It doesn't matter, none of it matters, and translators have a hellish job trying to make that thing work, because the Russian version of that song is tarara boom die siju na tumbiya, which is tarara boom die, I'm sitting on a curbstone. and the whole, and he hasn't said anything else. He just says, "Oh, it doesn't matter. None of it actually
Right.
matters."
Yeah.
But the Russian audience would know that the next two lines of that song are, "And my heart weeps because I am of no consequence."
Oh.
So
I wish I had
it's
known that when I
he
did the
can't,
reading.
He can't say that. So
Uh-huh.
how the hell do you get that across to a
Right.
Western audience?
You're gonna have
whose
to.
idea of Tarara
You have to
is
do the
totally
rest of the
different.
song. You have
Yeah,
to do the
yeah,
rest of the song. Right.
Uh-huh.
The Russian national character comes right out of its geography and its extreme harshness of the climate. It's so hard to survive. And
the vodka.
Right. And there's so
The
many
vodka.
humans. Soldiers are expendable. Where this peasant came from, there are plenty of others. It's just so harsh. So they're so extreme emotionally, and they're very like Beckett, existential, exactly. Because
You have to remember also that
it's so harsh.
In the West, we're used to measuring the status of an individual because of their wealth,
right?
Particularly in America. But in Russia, in those periods, your status was determined on how many servants you had,
right?
How many people lived on your land and worked for you. And that was the way
well, you could be
somebody's
cash
status was
poor
measured.
and land rich, cash poor and land rich, right?
Yeah.
And they freed the serfs in the 1860s, but it's kind of like Jim Crow for a while.
Did you ever read, anybody ever read Wild Honey? It's an
Yes.
adaptation by Michael from an earlier play by Anton Chekhov. That's
They
a
put that on at the
beautiful
National
play.
Theater right before I came there in the mid 1980s.
I just found a hard copy of a play called The Country Scandal I'm going to read. Have you anybody ever read that? I don't know where I got it from. I just found it.
Wait, can I just say one thing?
Myself.
Wild Honey is an earlier version of Uncle Vanya, right? It is.
It's beautiful. No,
No,
I think
no.
it's like Platonov, maybe. I'm not sure.
No,
it's
what-
all about this teacher and these people who were once revolutionaries, and now they're also stuck out in the Russian.
Or Cherry Orchard. Am I wrong? Is it Cherry?
No, it's one of it's one of the unfinished ones, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, but I thought it was.
Adapted from
Yeah,
Platonov.
no,
It says
it
right
was-
here, Platonov, adapted from Platonov.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it. Platonov
That's
was
Uncle Vanya.
never
Right.
sort of done, and parts of it were kind of reused. I think in Ivanov, they're similar
Yeah.
things
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
in that.
Beautiful play.
But yeah, I saw it on Broadway with Ian McKellen, and it was great. It was hysterical, and it's so funny. And I think that's one of the things that people that they give Chekhov this reputation of melancholy Russian seriousness, but there is also this tremendous humor in it as well.
Oh yeah.
Like a recent production, The Roundabout did of The Cherry Orchard, which had Diane Lane playing Luba, who played like the little girl back in a Lincoln Center production with Irene Worth, and Joel Grey, and Harold Perrineau is Lepakin, and John Glover is Gaia.
Joel Grey was in it?
Oh, John Glover.
Yeah, and it was great, and it was so funny, and it really got very sort of mixed reviews because it's sort of like, oh, we don't really. If you're making people laugh doing Chekhov, you can't be doing it right.
Oh,
but
that's
it's like,
so
no,
ignorant. What
No,
about
I disagree. I'm surprised it got good.
great
Bad
production.
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, and it was
he is
an adaptation by the guy who'd
He's
written
both
the
at the
Humans.
same time, Chekhov. He's both at the same time. Yeah, that's the Russian national character. Yeah.
You know, if you go to Roundabout, like a half hour, an hour before a performance, you can usually get like a $20 ticket sometimes. They have rush tickets because they're very, very expensive and they're not on TDF. So you really do have to stand.
I always think part of the problem is that Chekhov had this habit of his plays, he would class them in what was translated as comedy, was the term that the translators tend to use. But I think the correct translation is they're vaudevilles. And that's a different sort of thing altogether. There's that bleak humor when your world's falling in on you. You just have to laugh.
Right. It's
'Cause
like
what
Mel
else do you do?
Brooks, Springtime for Hitler. Yeah.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
There's also
I
a
could
lovely
see
play
where
called
Cherry Orchard could be really funny. I could see that because there's so many buffoon characters in it, you know, that go up against each other.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like what the hell? We just cut everything all down, you know.
Yeah.
Or we.
But the
just go
problem
back
is,
to Paris and get
too often people get carried away and make the characters real buffoons instead of capturing the reality of them.
Yeah, you can't do that either. Yeah, there's so much more depth in there. Right.
Got to be real. I mean, that
Right,
classic,
right.
that
We know that.
classic
It so
stage
happens
production
it happens.
of Uncle Vanya that they did was absolutely appalling. Absolutely appalling.
Oh, no.
Oh, dreadful.
There's so many ways to do it wrong. And one of the things that, like with Shakespeare, we've had a lot of really successful Shakespeare films. It's much more difficult to do Chekhov films because I think it was when
Are we talking
the
about
actor
the David
studio
Mamet
production.
again?
No, but I don't know about that. But with when the actor
Vanya on
studio.
42nd Street.
Oh yeah, that is a very good one. Vanya on 42nd Street.
That's
film.
Mamet.
That's a mammoth.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
it's at least,
he misses out all the atmosphere.
Yeah, you were saying,
yeah. I mean, it
sort of
works
the
on its own
alcohol
level, but it
plays
gets.
I remember enjoying it, but
Yeah, I liked it as well. But I mean, I think that there's one of the things that I just want to say that I think it was Geraldine Page had said when she was in the actor studio production of The Three Sisters, which they did record, is that the problem with like filming it is that you only see the face of the people who are talking. Whereas with Chekhov, it's always an ensemble, and it's so much that you want to see everybody's face. You know, which is why he is so. Another thing about why he works so well, he can work so well on stage, and it's very difficult to capture on film.
If I remember,
right, because if you do a master shot, it's hard to see anything.
I think Louis Malle directed because he and Wallace Shawn, of course, did My Dinner with Andre and Andre Gregory. I mean, I think they did Vanya on 42nd is kind of a sequel, as it were, to My Dinner with Andre, didn't they? And I mean, it was filmed on a stage with a wide shot, I think, for just that reason, I imagine, for lots of it. And I remember
hated it because
I remember that the opinion was very split.
He took the essence of Chekhov and threw it away.
Are you talking
Ignorant.
about
Ignorance.
with Al Pacino?
No,
Is that the movie?
No,
there's a movie,
Shawn
Vanya
and a very young Julian Moore. It was maybe 1990.
They love to put their concept on it. Don't do that to Chekhov, you fool.
If you want to see Uncle Vanya done well, look at Toby Jones's production that Sonia Friedman filmed on the West End. It got shut down early, and they eventually re-recorded it, and it was broadcast several times. And it might be coming on PBS if it hasn't come already. Oh yeah, it's lovely.
Oh great.
Done. When was that done, Angus?
Initially just at the beginning of the pandemic, and was shut down early. Then once the pandemic had eased, they redid it and filmed it.
Great. Where do they do it? Like the Don Mar Warehouse, someplace like that?
No, one of the theaters in the West End. Okay. I don't know which one, but it was nice. Toby Jones was great as Vanya.
Oh, I did see that. Yes, because it has Wallace Shawn in it. Right. I did see it.
Vanya on 42nd Street. Yeah.
Yes. Well,
Austin Pendleton was in that, right? And I still haven't seen it. Oh.
Well, I wouldn't. Well, yeah, but I mean, it was Austin Pendleton who directed that god awful Vanya at Classic Stage. Oh, I sat through it as people around me were falling about laughing. I'm thinking, you've got to be out of your mind. And I remember I was going home, and I ran into a guy who'd been sitting just about 2 seats along from me, and he recognized me. He said, "Well, what did you think about it?" And I said, "I know, it was dreadful." And he said, "Yes."
What was dreadful about it?
Let me put it this way. One of the characteristics of Yelena and the doctor, they never touch. So that kiss is a major moment. He had them groping each other and giving each other back rubs. So instead of a kiss, which couldn't happen,
exactly,
he backed her against the wall and stuck his hand up her skirt. I mean,
and you lose it. Oh no! I'll tell you one thing about Austin. I adore that man. I studied with him for a whole year and went back to acting class at HB 2010. But right around then, he did a show at that place. It's on 23rd Street. It's called I forget the name. The Cage. And he played. He did a full length play. It was a 2-character play Austin had just turned 70 and the chick was like 20 something. And it was like, it was about a May, December romance, but it's like, Austin, come on now. It's far-fetched, my man. I love him so much. He's so, oh, I shouldn't say this in public. Are we still live?
Yes, we're still live. We're still live on
Austin, I
YouTube.
love you so much, but come on, my man. I mean, even Cary Grant said, don't make me come on to these young chicks in the mid-60s.
Yeah,
He said,
that's right.
you know,
That's right.
well, he's got a huge life force, Austin, and he just wants, he's brilliant. But come on, you know what I'm saying?
He is what you call uneven.
He wants to stay relevant, which is incredible, and he is relevant.
Well, part of it is that his attitude seems to be that lines are taken as they are for their own sake. So you don't get them fitted into an arc and a flow.
The thing is, I think people are overwhelmed by the sheer amount of brilliant productions by now sometimes, and they want to put their own stamp on it. And don't stretch it too far, man, because then you wreck it. You wreck all the delicacy, you wreck the subtlety. I mean, come on, Jesus.
It's also a difference between
the dumbing down of American society. Don't cave way to it. Frick it.
But it's also a difference between the European style of acting and the American style of acting. I mean, when Ivo van Hove did Hedda Gabler originally at the New York Theatre Workshop, there were only about 2 or 3 people in that who could really handle it, and one of them was a little old Polish lady.
I believe you. I believe you.
The younger men, they were doing one of the big interactive speeches. They were playing each line on its own merits. But you could see what Van Hove was doing. He was orchestrating that scene. Didn't matter what you were saying, you had a crisis point to get to, and you needed to build up to that. No matter whether you're slightly twisting the lines or whatever, you go to that.
It's so self-indulgent.
He was creating arcs. It's not dumb. It's just a different style. I mean, if you have to feel everything, that doesn't work.
No,
all the time. It's not.
I saw
not
these
acting.
little foxes. I liked it a lot. Did that his stripped down little foxes that he did?
I saw View from the
oh.
Bridge. I saw View from the Bridge. It was all bloody. I dug it enough, but
I liked his little foxes.
Okay.
I thought some of the acting was uneven, but
oh yeah.
But that's probably what you just said, is that it's very stripped down.
Yeah,
he wants to get to the bare essence.
And that's kind of cool. That's kind of
Van Hove's Hedda Gabler he turned the whole of New York Theatre Workshop into a white box with white plasterboard. That was it. There was a piano in the middle of the stage.
Well,
that's what he did with little foxes too. He kept it very bare.
And the little old Polish lady played the nurse, and she just sat on a chair on stage right, and cut into the plasterboard were a couple of doorways, and one said loft and one said kitchen. And if she needed to get a prop, she would just open the door, reach in and get it, and then come onto the stage. Stage proper.
Cool. As long as the acting is not self-indulgent and it's all about the story and the characters and everything and relationships, not about the way you're doing the play, you know?
Yeah. Or feeling every moment. It's sometimes not productive to do that. Other times it is. I mean, American writers write plays where that's the way to do them. But
you have to have a sense of shape and structure, though, because the playwright sure did. The playwright sure did.
Yeah. But Van Hove.
If you'll excuse me, let me say something. It all has to happen for the first time.
Yes.
You're here.
Right.
Yeah.
In the moment. In the moment.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Right. And you're doing it for the audience. You're entertaining the audience. And if it's great writing, you can enlighten them too, but you're not doing it for your own self.
You're telling a story, and it's important that you create that and get that story across, however you do it. Doesn't matter how you do it.
Right.
Make them laugh,
Acting,
make
not
them
feeling.
cry, make them
laugh, make them laugh.
make them laugh, make them cry, make them weep.
Yeah, you
Charles
can
Dickens.
You have a lesson to teach. You can preach all you want, like Bertolt Brecht. But if you're going to preach a lot and make it really serious, you better have some laughs in there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Brecht, to bring up Brecht, he's still not in the public domain, and I don't know how many, if there were early English translations, that will happen too soon. But we keep getting every year. There's new stuff that comes out, so we can do more, and we will keep doing more Chekhov. and other writers. I mean, the Shaw Project and
Fabulous.
Goldsmith Tomorrow and Moliere, of course, where we, I mean,
Stokes to conquer.
this is still our, I mean, a few weeks ago, I mean, we celebrated Moliere's 400th birthday, you know, and I mean, so this is a 400th anniversary year for Moliere, which I think is something worthy of celebrating all year long. And Chekhov, this would be his 162nd anniversary of his birth, and as he only lived to be about 44 or 45, I think that's he's still got a great body of work for us to enjoy.
We're trying to put the big three on Moliere, which actually shows pretty much his style when he wrote the School for Women, which a lot of people hated. And made fun of and objected to strongly. So he came back with a play called The School for Women, criticized, making his point of view, and that pissed off people even more. So the Bourgogne Company put up a play trying to make fun of Moliere, which actually didn't work too well, but then he wrote the Versailles Impromptu. So I've been translating those to try and get them.
You have been?
Oh, that's what I was going to ask, was about translate. So back to translation, which Moliere translate? I mean, the Richard Wilbur obviously is yeah, but it's not in the public domain, obviously.
No, well, these are the ones on Gutenberg. Well, we got what we got off Gutenberg, and then I've been tidying them up. But for the School for Wives criticized and the Versailles Impromptu, they're nowhere around. So I cheated. Took the French and threw it at Google Translate.
There you go. That's
which is complete garbage when it comes out, and then struggled through it to try and understand what they're really saying, and done that. So it's an adaptation of a literal, very literal translation.
Having a cold go at Moliere is worthy of celebration.
When you really get into the Versailles Impromptu, it's brilliant. It's destructive.
I can't wait to hear it or see it.
Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Wow.
By the way, I have to say, as a Scot, I have to blow my nation's trumpet that the first production in the UK of The Seagull was at the Glasgow Lyric Theatre.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
That was the first introduction of Chekhov to the UK.
Wow. Yeah, that must have been in the 1920s, early.
No, it was about teens. It was in the teens.
Oh, right. World War One.
Yeah, just before, yeah.
Right. And then the dude named Michael Chekhov was instrumental in directing and everything in the West End in the 20s and everything, bringing Chekhov to the masses in London.
Yeah.
Dude, Michael Chekhov. I always forget this. Was he related to Anton Chekhov distantly?
I believe they were cousins.
Yeah.
And I think probably people might know Michael Chekhov now as from the Hitchcock movie Spellbound, as the little old man. And actually in Mel Brooks' High Anxiety, they have this sort of the mentor, Professor Little Old Man, who's sort of based on Michael Chekhov's character in that.
Right.
And of course, he was a great teacher of actors, including Yul Brynner. And really believed in the one of his really important concepts was the psychological gesture. You know, the idea of like a certain sort of move or gesture that really reflects who the character is.
Didn't he write a book called Audition?
Related to Anton Chekhov's work.
Didn't he write the book Audition?
No, that was Michael Shurtleff.
Shurtleff, yeah, because that's actually a very good book. Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah.
When I was young, I used it all the time.
That's Shurtleff, not Chekhov.
I've always been a great fan of the advice to the actor.
Oh gosh, Stanislavski. No, that's
no.
Bobby Lewis, isn't it?
Bobby Lewis, yeah.
Oh, Bobby Lewis, great.
I had worked out over the years how to get characters and how to do things. And somebody then introduced me to that book, and I read it and I thought, shit, I have spent 30 years developing how I do this, and it was all in this goddamn book.
I've heard so much about that book, and I've only read bits of it. I got to read that book.
I
you know how I learned to freaking act?
It basically says everything is goal oriented. You know, and I learned that the hard way because I was doing a play upstate And we were really doing it sort of workshopping, and we'd get through it and run it. And then the director would say, no, no, no. At that point, you got to say the line this way. And I go, what? And then I'd go away and think about it. But if I do that, then I've got to do this, and I've got to change that.
He's
and
giving
then
you
I've got
line
to,
readings?
and then I go,
Wait,
and then
let
I
me
go,
get it straight.
oh yeah, that's exactly it.
Okay, okay.
What I got wrong started 3 pages earlier. I just have to tweak that 3 pages before, and it gets me there. No, there's nothing wrong with a director giving line readings, because it's a very difficult thing for a director with an idea to communicate with an actor who's struggling to develop something. And often the only thing that a director can do is tell you, no, you've got it wrong. That line should come out this way, and then leave you to find out how to get yourself there so that the line does come out that way.
To get you organically to know what he's going for and what he's hiding and all that stuff.
That's right. That's right. So I learned the hard way, and then
you know what taught me to act? Taught me to act is Uta Hagen, respect for acting. Man, I finally understood. You're playing Titania. I got to play Titania, you know, in senior year at Interlochen Arts Academy. This fair, we had a great time putting on big shows and everything like that. And we had a lot of fun exercises, but I never grasped the concept until freshman year NYU. Yeah, I'm so spoiled. I am. Uta Hagen's book that if you're playing a queen and it's character way above you, don't be all overwhelmed by that. Your feelings, don't just play a queen. Your feelings. Do your feelings, but in her circumstances, and then you won't be this boring idiot just reciting lines. That's what the method is, really. That's the method. But I never knew.
Actually, well, in the past few years, the best acting advice I've gotten has been Paul's simple Shakespeare instructions at the beginning, and David Mamet's book, of all people, who is totally puts down substitution.
You can't go too far with them, but you're really self-indulgent.
I said, but substitution happens automatically when you're in action.
Right.
And what Angus said, when I was 24 years old, I was doing a play. And the director, Gary Bowen, turned to me. We were in previews, and I took too long at that beginning. He got mad at me. He says, "What are you doing?" He said, "What's wrong with you?" He said, "What's the matter? You didn't feel it?" I said, "It's not about going for the feeling. It's about going for the action."
Yeah, you can't go.
Unfortunately, Hagen's book sometimes gets people, young students. I read that when I was young, thinking it's all too intellectual, and it can really screw you up. You can get you fired in rehearsal, you know, because
before I met my wife, she'd spent a year at RADA doing their summer course, and they were doing scenes, and one of the scenes was the nurse's scene in Romeo and Juliet, and she was doing the nurse, and the director said, "All right, run it," and she came out and she just read it dead. Yeah, and he said, "What's wrong?" Well, I'm just reading it. I'm just starting. And he said, "Look, what's the nurse feeling at this point? What's she going through? What's she thinking? What's hurting her at this point?" And Steph got pissed off, and she said, "I'll fucking show him." And sorry, and she came out and, you know, did the tearing of the hair and the weeping and the wailing and all the rest of it. And at the end of it, he looked at her and said, "Look at them." And, you know, 3 or 4 of the girls in the audience were crying. And he said, "But I was just," he said, "Yeah, but they don't know that. You were just making, okay, but they got the message because you hit the beats. You did the points. You told the story through the arc of what that character was feeling. And you may not have been feeling it, but what they saw convinced them."
It's called acting, not feeling. You know, it's not the art of feeling.
What was Olivier's line? "Have you tried acting, young man?"
Right, that was Olivier.
Or to Hoffman, who kept himself up on, I know.
Yeah.
Right. And my favorite actor of all time, James Cagney, he has about 3 famous quotations about acting. He said, number 1, look the guy in the eye, look the other person in the eye, and mean stay. Mean. And number 2 is if you're playing a real bad, horrible, heavy thing, yeah, be in there, but sprinkle the goodies along the way. Keep humor every once in a while. And what, the 3rd famous thing, he said, yes, He said, never relax mentally. Yeah,
Right.
you feel relax
No,
in your body.
no.
Never relax mentally, because if you relax, the audience will relax. In
That's
other words,
what
you have-
Hagen
in other
said.
words, you have to like you were saying before, Michael. You have to earn your pauses, right? Don't
Right.
drive Mack trucks and everything. Forget that.
Uta Hagen said to a student.
He said acting. He said art. James Cagney said in his AFI acceptance lifetime achievement speech, he was the first actor to ever get the AFI award after John Ford. He's in his speech. You can see it on YouTube. He goes, "Art is life plus. Art is life plus. It's reality plus caprice." Yeah, and they'll get
Chekhov
more
said,
if you
but this isn't
life.
reality. When Stanislavski tried to have real dogs on the stage in Three Sisters, he said,
Oh, they're just
"No,"
gonna look at the
and
dogs.
and he was told about it, and they had real crickets making the sound. He said, "Well, it's not real.
Yeah.
This is art.
Right.
This is a semblance of reality. It's not reality." You know?
Right. It's a distillation of it, you know?
Yeah. When we did Mother Courage at the Cocteau, the blind daughter, we used to get really into that, with one of the big emotional breakdowns. And one night, nothing happened. She was absolutely dead. She could have been reading, the obituary column in the New York Times for all the things. And I said, "What went wrong?" She said, "Oh, I just didn't feel it." I said, "Look, you've been doing this for a month of rehearsals. We've been performing it for a week and a half. You know what you do. The audience don't know that you're not feeling it. You just do it.
It's your job.
Grab the technique and repeat it." And the next night she was fine. And then about 3 days later, she said, "I guess you were right. I didn't feel it again tonight. So I just did what I always do. And suddenly it all came back."
Yes.
And I started doing that. And I thought, yeah.
Right.
And I said, "Good. You learned something, Yeah. Well, but it's
go for what the character is going for. And yes.
Yeah. And the other one is don't. And the other thing is you can't hide anything from the audience. You cannot put walls around yourself and not let them see inside you. If you do that, they won't be with you. And it doesn't matter whether you're the hero, the villain, or the third spear chucker from the left. If you mean it, every single word of it, and the stakes are high enough for you, the audience will buy it.
That's true. You could think it's so far-fetched, but if you're going for it, they're like, "Oh, yeah, go, yeah."
That's why I love Geraldine Page, because she always made the most outrageous choices.
Yep.
And sometimes they were considered wrong, but they always worked.
Right. And Barbara Harris, I think also, she was like out there, but yeah.
Well, I watched,
Sandy
there was a Shakespeare workshop at NYU. They were looking at various Shakespeare characters, and Kirsten Linklater was there. And she did a couple of speeches, and she just basically showed everybody else up. You bought every single word she said.
Wow.
And halfway, she'd only gone about 3 or 4 lines, and suddenly you were on the journey with her. You were following her, and you were part of that journey.
Because she was so free, and smart and rigorous at the same time.
By the way, speaking of great acting on another medium, film, has anybody seen Power of the Dog yet?
No, I see it. I'm hearing good
It's
things.
on Netflix. If you have Netflix, you gotta see this. I've seen it twice already.
Oh, really? Yes. Really good. Yeah. Wow.
It's one of the best movies I've seen in
I
years.
heard about it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. Cool.
It is it's incredible. So
What
well
country?
done.
It's not. What country is that movie from again? It's not.
Well,
American.
Jane Campion is, I think, Australian, but the movie takes place
She's from
in the West here,
Oh.
right? Does it wait? Is it New Zealand? Oh no, it's right. It's
Yeah, that was
right.
She was, she's from New Zealand, but it's an American novel.
It's the American West.
Okay.
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch. Boy, does he have
right.
magnificent dark side that's he's cast so much against what has been his type.
Yeah.
And boy, he does it.
Is it contemporary? It takes place in contemporary times, like now?
No, in the 1920s.
Anybody, if you know, the less you know about it going into it, the better.
Yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
just
my
one of
friend.
those movies.
Yeah, cool. Hey,
Has
and
anybody
go-
seen all the Constellations yet? Nick Payne's play that was Donmar Warehouse. I think it was shut down. And when they brought it back, they filmed it with 4 couples, each couple doing a version of it. And they filmed them all, and they're all available to look at. If you go onto the Donmar Warehouse site, you can pay 20 quid or something, or not very much, and you can watch all of them. And they're all different, and they're all brilliant. And the play itself is
cool.
There will be sections where they repeat a section of dialogue and completely change the meaning of it.
Wow.
And
The title
completely
again?
Constellations,
Mhm.
written by Nick Payne,
I
one of
heard
his weird plays.
Oh,
but
cool.
it's about the relationship between a couple,
Speaking of which, do you mind me saying?
Thingy Wanamaker's in it, one of them,
Yeah. My sister took me to see the Stephen Sondheim, the revival of Company, the musical. Speaking of,
Yeah.
and now they've updated it. One of the couples is now gay, 2 guys, and 2 of them
Mhm.
are biracial.
Mhm.
And the main character is no longer a young man that can't commit. He's 35 years old, birthday. It's a young woman who's
Yeah.
gun
Oh,
shy
yeah.
about marriage, and it's brilliant. Oh, and Patti LuPone, here's to the ladies who lunch. Oh God, I was crying. We were first row
Yeah.
balcony. Oh God, this was last Sunday. I was crying into my mask. Snot was in my mask. I'm like dying. It was it was life-changing. Oh God. And then at the very end of it, luckily I got away with it because everybody's clapping and cheering.
Yeah.
And I was 6 times louder than Patti LuPone, 10 times louder. I bellowed from the front row of the balcony, bravo,
Yeah.
It was like that story that in Cherry Orchard when Gayev tells the anecdote, which was it's not apocryphal, it was true. It had just happened, where Chekhov has it in there. Bravo, Silva, that story.
Yeah.
The world famous basso profondo, Fyodor Shaliapin, he did some performance of some opera in Kiev, and some workman had come to the show and had a voice a whole octave lower practically.
Yep.
And everybody, the cheers are dying down, and you hear this random voice going, bravo, Silva.
Yeah.
There's
one of Sondheim's
and the great
interviews.
dudes on stage were like, who the heck's voice is that? Wow.
Yeah.
And Chekhov put that into his
Paul Yukina.
There's one of Sondheim's interviews, which is available on YouTube, where he actually mentions the whole business of them coming to him about doing the changes in sex in Company. And he was originally concerned about it, but then when it was explained to him, all made perfect sense.
And they had to change
One question, Virginia. In that production, when they do Sorry Grateful, I thought I was hallucinating one day.
Gorgeous.
And I heard somebody singing Sorry Grateful, but at a really fast, manic tempo.
No, it was a lovely ballad, the way it's meant to be.
Thank God, because whoever was doing this, I thought, this cannot be the new revival.
That's pathetic.
It's horrible.
You don't do that. You don't do
But
that.
that song, I know. It's a ballad.
Right. There are only about 3 or 4 ballads in that, because most of them are quick patter, quick patter.
That's a beautiful song. I
But there
love
are
that
about
song.
4 ballads. Barcelona was where you going, Bar, so sweet. Except
Yeah.
the stewardess was a guy, and the main chick whose apartment it is, one night stand, is a girl. So they couldn't, when he forgets her name. He goes, "You're a very special girl," and he goes, "Blah blah blah. You're not just for overnight." And then he goes, "June," and he gets the name wrong. She goes, "April." He goes, "Sorry," but this time it was very clever, very clever. It's a girl, right? It's a woman. So she goes, "Randy," and the steward goes, "Andy," and she goes, "Sorry." So they got,
I like that.
They got the Duke.
That's a good choice.
Randy Andy in there. He could get sued, Sondheim, but I think he knows. Hey, I am Stephen Sondheim, and I'm toward the end of my life anyway.
Why could he have
The
been
royal family could sue me all
that?
that. What?
Why could
Randy
he have
Andy.
been sued for Randy Andy?
The Duke of York. What Prince Andrew is going through right now,
Too bad, it's his work. He has a right to do whatever he wants.
That's right. That's exactly. And he is Stephen Sondheim.
And that has really been
Exactly.
around long before.
Right, exactly.
Prince Andrew.
Right.
With his peccadillos.
But it's just not very bad now with Trump and the sex trafficking of the teenagers and all that. With Ghislaine Matthews is behind bars now forever, thank goodness.
The first show I ever worked on in college was Company, but I only was a walk-on sing. But I did props, and I had a toaster. I found a toaster that burned toast and made it smoke. Well, the director.
Wait, you were doing props? You were assistant
Well,
director?
it was while I was a walk-on as a waiter, and I was props. It was in college. So the director in college said to me, I says, look, the toaster, it was upstaging her. It was during I'm Not Getting Married. And the audience was watching the toast, burning toast.
Yeah.
But she was okay anyway. And I thought the burning toaster made it more interesting.
I think,
He said, look, he says, you've got to cut the bread. Wait, he says, you've got to cut the toaster. So I did it again the next day.
I think that's
He
wrong.
really yelled at me. No, he said, and he was right. It was totally unprofessional for me not to listen to him. And it's true. It was upstaging her.
I guess so, but come on. I mean, why not have both at once? The burnt toast is expressing the frenetic. Pardon me, is anybody?
Because everybody's watching the smoke and they're thinking at any moment the toaster's going to go on fire.
Well,
you can't do that in the theater.
You can't do that. You can't.
And you also have to really listen to that song, especially if it's done at a proper
Exactly.
speed.
You do, yeah.
Exactly. It's death. No, he was totally right.
Yeah,
It's fun once though.
Well, I was 19 years old.
Yeah, when I was 17, I did an apprenticeship summer stock at Lake Placid. Well, I had a couple cute little roles I played Cobweb in Midsummer Night's Dream. It was all futuristic. And I had one line. Cobweb. That was my family came all the way up from Ridgewood to see me do that deathless line, Cobweb. Yeah. And then I was whatever. But I was in charge of props. Oh yeah, no, this was in South Bend, Indiana before that, with a master's degree. Anyway, they did Medea, and I had to make the golden goose egg, and this was Lake Placid. Anyway, I had a big yellow I had fun making it. I had to make this big golden goose egg out of styrofoam. It was two halves broken together. You could see it was styrofoam if it ever busted open. It wasn't supposed to bust open. And in one performance, something went wrong and it fucking busted open. I was so embarrassed. My shoddy workmanship with the glue. The actors were like, we'll crack jokes about the yolk on stage or something. Sorry, that's not that.
Oh no, it's just that you were so right for this part. You just played it.
But Tatiana, she's such a bimbo. I was screwing up the accents. I was screwing up the accent because I started doing this like fancy accent, and then I realized no, I meant to do it Valley Girl. That's why I went as if. I just saw Alicia Silverstone again in Clueless on YouTube. You could watch the whole movie free on YouTube if you want. I hadn't seen it since it first came out in the late 90s. Oh my God, it's really genius.
I'm still here. I just got to check. I got something in the oven.
Clueless is really
Okay, I gotta go, guys. It's been fun. Thank you.
This has been
We
great.
did not
Thank you
discuss
so much,
Denzel
Angus.
Washington and the Scottish play. We haven't discussed it. I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen it yet. I've heard a lot of opinions, good and bad.
Hey,
No,
Virginia.
I don't go to the cinema.
You love to talk on the phone, but can I
on Apple TV.
call you or no?
What?
The one I want to see is
on cell phone or no? Because I know
the one
you
I
don't
want
do
to see is Belfast.
Yeah, I want to see that.
yeah.
Kenneth Branagh.
I want to see that too.
Yeah, that looks to be a good
But
one. Anyway, I gotta go, guys.
See
Thank
Power
you
of the
so much,
Dog.
Angus.
Do you know the
Great
song?
job.
Happy
In
Chekhov birthday.
Belfast,
Happy
You
Chekhov's
got to
birthday.
be. Do you know that Belfast song? My Irish band in Philly used to do it all around. We did it in Ireland. Okay, whatever. We have a recording of it. I'll send you all the MP3. Okay, I'm now shutting up.
Power of the Dog. I want to see Belfast too.
I have all this yummy vegan food I cooked for you. Oh, there goes my tea kettle. I'm coming soon to New York. I'll bring you all this vegan food I made. Casseroles and 15 veggie soup. I'm bringing it to you, Michael.
No, don't keep it for yourself. I'm good. Don't worry about it.
You should see the Macbeth, if only for, I think it's is it Catherine Hunter? Is all three witches. And
oh yeah,
just I mean, she's got maybe 5 minutes, of course, of screen time.
Cool.
And she is magnificent.
I heard she was.
Is this the new one with Denzel Washington?
That's right. I heard she was the
Denzel
only good
Washington.
thing in it.
I want to see Frances McDormand.
It's worth the price of admission just for those 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not so.
I heard Denzel and Francis have their ups and downs.
You didn't like the rest of it?
I didn't say that.
All right.
I said the 5 minutes are worth the price of admission.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Seth Stewart went on social media. I respect Seth, and he couldn't stand it. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's famously a curmudgeon, you know,
That's
so
true, that's
he's,
true.
I
you know-
do someday, maybe I'll afford to buy his and Jared's new book, Staging
Oh, yeah.
Shakespeare's
Oh, that's a brilliant
Violence, which looks really great.
Violence, stage fighting. The general
And,
public seems to love it, and at least it gets the Scottish play out there again. You know, it's better than nothing. In other words,
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing. It's like, look at Shakespeare. I mean, we've got two, I mean, we don't have the Academy Award nominations yet, but two major things that could be big awards contenders. We have The Tragedy of Macbeth, and we have West Side Story, which is basically a retelling of Romeo and Juliet. You know, so it's like, yeah, we don't, I mean, that's why it's good that we can celebrate other writers other than Shakespeare as well. Because
Well, who were you saying was a curmudgeon? Joe Cohen, the director?
Seth
No, Seth Dewar. Seth Dewar.
He used to be
complains
Who's
about
that?
lots of things.
You don't know him? Oh wow.
Who's Jeff Dewar?
Seth
he used to
Dewar.
run York Shakespeare Company, and he was one of the admins on our Facebook page. He was in a bunch of really great readings for a while.
And what does he have to do with
before
this
you
new?
joined us, right before you joined us. He's about
Okay,
43 years old. He's a genius. He played Orson Welles when I was Vivian Lee 13 years ago. I did a stage reading of Orson's Shadow. He's a genius. He's a brilliant director and actor. Yeah.
I was trying to get the connection.
He just came out with a book with Jared Kirby. It's selling very well on Amazon. They worked on it for several years because Jared Kirby goes all around the whole nation doing stage fighting for legit.
Yeah.
And it's called, what's the name of it again? Shakespeare's Violence or something.
Staging Shakespeare's Violence.
Yeah, staging. I have
And I'm sorry, Michael, what was your question about who said?
I was trying to get the connection because we were talking about the Scottish King, the new movie with Denzel Washington. And then I heard curmudgeon, and I thought it was a connection to the movie, and it had nothing to do with the movie.
No.
Seth
Seth put on the Scottish play and played Mackers, I'm going to say about 11 years ago on Theatre Row. He used to mount some stuff on Theatre Row. He had good angels financially, but that dried up with the recession. What a nightmare. But
Well, I want to see Frances McDormand as the Lady M. I can't imagine that she'd not be fantastic.
She's got to be pretty good, right? She's got to be.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, and the thing about being a curmudgeon with Seth was complaining about that, but he also sort of complains about a lot of Shakespeare plays, saying certain plays that a lot of us really love are just horrible, and like he can't stand them in Summer Night's Dream. You know,
Well, I don't blame him
mean,
because they have to make it really visual, so they cut a lot for one thing, and they might indulge with paste sometimes, and I don't blame Seth for being curmudgeonly about that.
The only one of the only Shakespeare plays that really get on my nerves at times are Taming of the Shrew and All's Well.
I love Taming of the Shrew, one of my favorite plays.
I love
them.
I know it is everybody's. I've seen it more than anything.
I mean, it's that the ones that sort of do things, push buttons that get people annoyed. I think there was some articles Tony had posted about someone saying Merchant of Venice should never be performed.
Oh no, I should never say that about it.
Anti-Semitic. I mean, no, it isn't anti-Semitic. It's exactly.
It is not.
It's
And
exact
also,
opposite.
I know I saw that article. That's ridiculous
Stupid. It's an ignorant jerk saying that.
and insulting.
It's showing you how we treat Jews is wrong, but he dared not say it outright, or he would be freaking beheaded in those times.
Well, it is and it isn't. It is anti-Semitic.
No, it's
Well,
not.
I mean, I think that
Depends on who directs it.
It's
My
yeah,
dog
the
is better
production
than
it can
yours.
be-
I mean, you're right, Eleanor. You're right. Shakespeare shows that Shylock turns into a vindictive monster just as much as any hypocritical Christian would. He's showing us all the way we can be, you know? He's showing the Christians who
Or-
really want to act like that. Oh, you Jews are going to get just as ugly and greedy and everything. Oh, he's indicting us all. He's gently asking us all to review our choices and the way we treat each other.
He's putting up a
No matter
mirror.
what religion you are, yeah.
No, he's putting up a mirror, and he purposely called it the Merchant of Venice rather than the Jew of Malta.
Of Venice, the Jew of Venice, right.
No, because of the other play.
Marlowe did
was
that. Christopher Marlowe did that, yeah.
That was an anti-Semitic play.
Yeah, I
So
think we can all
Shakespeare turned
agree
around and said,
the Jew
fine,
of
I'm
Malta
going to
is
write
an
a different version of this, but I'm going to call it the Merchant of Venice.
Right.
Focus on him for a change.
Right.
See what
What
these
Shakespeare's
people are
really
about.
doing is indicting greed more than anything. He's indicting greed.
There you go. You know, they went to him. And for all we know, he could be threatening them the same way that he's threatened them all the way up until the end and just having a field day with it. And his one freak out where he says he wants the pound of flesh is because he's so friggin' angry that his daughter has left
Right.
And his money, stuff has been stolen.
Right.
And what do they do with it?
And
They
he's being
party with it.
Right, and
They
he's
didn't help
disrespectful.
their friend. They could have helped bail him out with that stolen money. No, they didn't care. They were too busy partying on the money they stole. Why didn't they at least help bail their friend out? Right? They could have paid the bond with the stolen money.
Mhm.
See, that's why I love that's Daniel Sullivan. God bless him. He brought it all out.
Right, they're not
No?
even
Yeah.
doing good business. They're lying, cheating businessmen. Right.
Exactly. And for all we know, how did Portia get her money? Get the ships back?
Right.
Maybe they were pirated by her father's company
Could be.
against competition. The
Pirate
other merchant.
Queen. Yes, yes.
They were in
Portia,
competition.
the pirate queen.
Right.
But anyways, I want to thank you all. If anybody's got any other sorts of final things they want to say about Chekhov, we should probably sort of wrap this up. Thank you all so much.
My God,
Thank you for
the
your.
discussion lasted a whole hour. Oh my.
Yes, they need to make a musical of the cherry orchard
Oh.
and the seagull and Uncle Bonnie.
Well, that would be great, but what if it stinks?
It would be.
We need
Well, I
Stevie
couldn't write
Sondheim
it.
back. We need Sondheim back to do it.
I know he could do anything.
No, but that's not fair to the young composers. They have something to say too. Okay, I'm going to shut up now. Incongruously.
Yes, this musical we just heard last night, guys, and the play readings. Is Jackie still here?
Yeah.
We just did a reading of a musical with play readings for friends. It's really quite nice, beautiful.
Great.
Good,
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Okay, my musical stuff
How
in
about that?
deposit has to get done by those folks. We'll talk.
All right.
All right.
And Polish will help me.
Well,
Okay.
I have to go down and
Yes.
go upstairs and turn off the thing from my other computer, which is Sugarman, which is
Oh, yeah?
either me or my wife, depending on who's running it. But since I've been co-hosting from here, nobody is. So I just have to go there to go and stop the.
Hey,
the
how are
video.
your daughters?
Are we
doing?
still on?
How are your daughters?
Are we still running?
We're still running. We're still running. So yes, we have recorded
We have to be
once
careful what
again
we say.
another of
Everyone
Angus's
knows what you think
diatribes
about-
against Austin Pendleton.
Let's discuss what we
Uh-oh.
were going to have for dinner. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
So
All
thank
right.
you.
Austin, I love you. I love you. I really love you. Oh God, you're such a great actor. I really believe me. I mean that. But I meant what I said too. But you're a genius. Everything you did. Oh my gosh. You know what's up, Doc?
All right, I'll say something. Robert
Muppet
Duvall,
movie.
you're a great actor, and I hate your politics.
Who?
I'm allowed to say that.
Okay, whatever.
Robert
All right, love you
Duvall.
all. I've been trying to pee for 2 hours now, and it's too fascinating. Now I really have to pee. Alert the media.
Alert the media.
All right, I love you. Yeah, John Gielgud, I'll alert the media.
Yes.
All right, I love you all. I'll see you soon.
Good night and good luck.